Chapter 35-41. She thought that she could afford to wait. However, Tangua's luck had improved recently, which made her a little nervous. All disciples, listen up. You will split into two groups. One group will wait for orders while the other group will follow me and Elder Feng to fight against the demonic beasts. Yu Heng ordered. Feng Gulin divided the disciples into two groups. Coincidentally, Tangua, Tang Xiang, and Liang Wan were all in the same group. However, their group had to wait for orders and would not hunt demonic beasts. Seeing Feng Gulin and Yu Heng lead the disciples out, they waited on the city wall. Standing on the high city walls, they could see the scene of the battle between the demonic beasts and the cultivators. In the distance, thick smoke billowed, accompanied by the sounds of fighting, and the thick smell of blood assaulted their nostrils. Xiang, when we go to kill the demonic beasts, you must stay by my side. Don't run around. That place is very dangerous. Ji Qi reminded. He did not have any feelings of love for Tang Xiang. He only saw her as his junior sister. However, the people in the sect felt that the two of them were very compatible. Tang Xiang did not mind if Ji Qi had any feelings of love for her. She was not interested in men. Having died once, she felt that living, resources, and strength were more important than anything else. As long as Ji Qi was on her side, nothing else mattered. I know. Don't worry, senior brother. I am at least in the golden core stage. That's good. You can take this opportunity to have more combat experience. Speaking of which, this is your first time participating in the fight against the demonic beasts, right? Yes. It was indeed her first time in this life. In her previous life, she had participated countless times. However, in her previous life, she was a small cultivator. She did not stand out at all. Every day, she fought for resources with her head tied to her belt. She did not meet anyone who would protect her. Now, it was different. There were many people protecting her. She subconsciously looked at Tangua. She saw Zhou Ru take out 2 red fruits and pass them to Tangua with a silly smile. Tang Xiang lowered her head. She felt that Zhou Ru's luck seemed to have changed. Even an insignificant Zhou Ru made Tang Xiang feel uneasy. Xiang, don't worry about her. Ji Qi also noticed Tangua. When you encounter danger later, protect yourself first. Don't do anything that will make senior brother angry. I know, senior brother. I won't do it again. Tang Xiang acted as if she was heartbroken, which made Ji Qi feel a lot more at ease. However, Ji Qi's gaze was still on Tangua. He realized that the way Tangua looked at Zhou Ru was very gentle. Even though she wasn't smiling, it wasn't as cold as the way she looked at other people. This discovery made Ji Qi a little unhappy. He was not particularly close to his master, younger sister, or senior brother. Instead, he became close to an outsider. Those people were talking about how she had used some tricks to make Zhou Ru, that fool, willingly follow her. They didn't know if she had used some despicable method. Tangua felt the unfriendly gaze, but she didn't care. She took the fruit from Zhou Ru, looked into the distance, and fell into deep thought. Junior sister Tang, what are you thinking about? What do I want to do to condense a golden core? Condensing a golden core requires a foundation. My foundation has already been destroyed. Even though I've cultivated to the peak of the foundation establishment stage for several years, I still can't take the final step. Zhou Ru scratched his head. It said that if one's foundation is destroyed, the possibility of condensing a golden core is 0. However, I don't understand why cultivators must condense a golden core to continue improving their strength. Junior sister Tang, don't be sad. When the boat reaches the bridge head, it will cross the bridge. Who knows, maybe one day a miracle will happen and you can condense a golden core. Look at how stupid I am. Didn't I cultivate to the golden core stage? Why must she condense a golden core? Tangua suddenly laughed. She had always wanted to complete the cultivation technique that the original owner didn't. She had always cultivated according to the original train of thought. However, she forgot that if the original owner's method hit a wall, she would definitely think of another way. For example, not condensing a golden core, but finding another way. Ling Xing had previously reminded her to use the snow lotus pill to cultivate her meridians. Meridians and dantian weren't much worse. In fact, they were more complicated. If she cultivated using her meridians on top of her original cultivation technique, wouldn't she not be affected by the foundation? Senior brother Zhou, I want to cultivate for a while. Help me keep an eye on them. When they return, call me. Okay. Chapter 35-42. After understanding how to take this path, Tangua began to cultivate according to this train of thought. She no longer worried about whether she could form her core. She controlled all the spirit power stored in her dantian and channeled it into the veins in her body. She did not circulate it in circles like before and return it to her dantian. Instead, she used her entire body as a container. Since her foundation had been destroyed, she could not condense her golden core. However, this body of hers was also unique. Most cultivators believed that a cultivator's foundation lay in their spirit roots. Little did they know that cultivators with outstanding innate spirit roots had physical bodies that were as strong as ordinary cultivators. Sure enough, according to the previous cultivation method, Tangguo felt that her strength was increasing exponentially. Unknowingly, the surrounding spirit power was drawn into her body and formed a small vortex. Such a big movement naturally attracted the attention of the other disciples of the Taichu sect. Especially Tang Xiang, who was staring at her without blinking. She pretended to be worried, but in reality, her fists were tightly clenched. Her heart was pounding, and her heart was in turmoil. Since her rebirth, she had changed many things with her prophetic abilities. At least her fate had been changed. She was no longer that little cultivator who struggled at the bottom and had to risk her life to snatch resources. She had also suppressed Tangua's luck until there was not much left. However, the changes in the past few months made Tang Xiang extremely panicked. Could this be the terror of great luck? No matter what method she used or how much effort she put in, she could not suppress the other party. Even if the other party's foundation was destroyed, it would not have much of an impact on her cultivation. The surrounding spirit power had already formed a vortex, and there were dark clouds above her head. This was a phenomenon that would only occur when one formed their core. If Tangua succeeded in forming her core at this time, a heavenly tribulation would descend from the dark clouds. Although there was only one heavenly tribulation, if one's foundation was not stable, they would definitely not be able to withstand this heavenly tribulation. Their golden core would be instantly shattered. At that time, their vitality would be greatly damaged. If they wanted to condense their golden core again, they would have to recuperate for at least 3 years. Xiang, are you worried? Ji Qi noticed Tangua's tense body and looked towards her. Let's not talk about other things. Her foundation is very good. She's been stuck at the perfected foundation establishment realm for a long time. After she forms her gold core, she'll have no problem dealing with the thunder tribulation. It had to be said that at this moment, Ji Qi's heart was filled with admiration. Her spiritual root was destroyed, yet she was still able to condense a golden core. There were many legends in the world of cultivation, and there were many people like Tangua. However, the number of people who condensed their golden core again could be counted on one hand. Most of them had their own fortuitous encounters and restored their foundation. However, Tang Guo did not seem to have encountered any miracles, so her foundation was not restored. If he had done so earlier, he wouldn't have waited until now to achieve a breakthrough. Ji Qi recalled her character and hurriedly removed the bit of admiration in his heart. After she condensed her golden core, she would most likely return to her previous arrogant and condescending personality. The other members of the Absolute Beginning sect were also looking at Tang Guo's position in horror. That terrifying vortex of spiritual energy. It reminded them of that astonishingly talented young girl from back then. Even though she was a cold person, no one could deny that she was really outstanding. They could only look up to her back and never thought of catching up to her. Chapter 35-43. Fear, panic, and other complicated feelings filled the hearts of the Taichu sect disciples. Liang Wan-her was also staring at the scene. She was unwilling to accept this and also a little afraid. After all, she had just offended Tang Guo. If she wasn't afraid that her words would be overheard by the elders and have a negative impact, she might have gone a little overboard. Now, should she be glad that she didn't impulsively point at Tang Guo and call her a piece of trash? Remembering that she wasn't a soft-hearted person, Liang Wan-her silently prayed in her heart that Tang Guo failed to form her gold core. It would be best if the lightning tribulation in the dark clouds directly fell and shattered her dantian. Then, she wouldn't be able to cultivate. Of course, there were also a few disciples who had looks of admiration in their eyes. A person whose foundation had been destroyed had formed a gold core again. This was undoubtedly a great encouragement to them. Her spirit root had been destroyed, but she was still able to form a gold core. One could imagine how hard she worked. Could it be that they couldn't even beat her? They couldn't beat her now because they didn't work hard enough. Looks like that talented junior martial sister Tang is coming back again. Someone in the crowd was discussing. Seeing that many people were unhappy, that person smiled and said, "However, I see that you all don't look very happy. You must be thinking about how you were beaten up by her." The person who spoke was a core disciple of the sect. He was already in the nascent soul stage. He wasn't familiar with Tang Guo at all. They had only competed before. Back then, when Tang Guo surpassed him, he was indeed very vexed. However, he wasn't like the others who had been cultivating bitterly all these years. It was just that he hadn't been able to surpass the other party. That genius was no longer a genius, which made him feel a little regretful. Now that he saw that Tang Guo was about to form a gold core again, he stood out spontaneously and blocked Tang Guo's side, acting as her guardian. "Thank you, Senior Marshal Brother Li." Zhou Ru recognized Li Yuni. This person was a popular figure in the sect and would often be pulled out for discussion. The main thing was that Li Yuni was a cultivation maniac. In his eyes, other than cultivation, he didn't seem to have any other interests or hobbies. He was also one of the few nascent soul disciples who came this time. He liked to fight, which was why he took the initiative to apply. The nascent soul stage disciples had a similar mission as the elders, which was to take care of the golden core stage and foundation establishment stage disciples. However, Li Yuni was different from the other nascent soul disciples. He had applied to the sect and was not allowed to take care of the disciples. Instead, he went in to fight by himself. There was nothing the sect elders could do about this maniac. Letting Li Yuni protect the weak disciples was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. It was better to let him go in and take care of those crazy demonic beasts. "There's no need to thank me. I'm not doing this out of kindness, nor am I being enthusiastic. I just see that my former opponent has the hope of standing up again. I don't want anyone to come and destroy my opponent's growth at this time." Li Yuni stared at Tang Guo with excitement. "To be honest, when I was meditating, I was thinking about how to defeat her. I've always regretted that I didn't have this opportunity, but now it seems that the heavens still favor me." "Good, very good. Junior sister Tang, I'll wait for you to grow up, and then we'll compete again. When Zhou Ru saw that Li Yuni was about to fight, he quickly moved his body and shielded Tang Guo behind him. Li Yuni didn't seem to notice as he focused on guarding the surroundings. His expression was very excited. The Taichu sect disciples had strange expressions on their faces. They really didn't dare to have any thoughts. Besides, with Zhou Ru around, who knew how many image stones he had in his bag? Would they dare to play any tricks? Chapter 35-44. About 2 hours later, Tang Guo was completely surrounded by a vortex of spirit power. The dark clouds above her were constantly watching her, as if they were afraid that she would escape. Li Yuni and Zhou Ru also distanced themselves slightly. At least, they could not stand in the area covered by the dark clouds to prevent the power of the lightning tribulation from increasing. The other disciples were already shocked by Li Yuni's attitude and hurriedly ran away to watch. Looking at the swirling vortex of spirit power that seemed to be condensing into a solid form, the Archean sect disciples had complicated expressions. Perhaps Tang Xiang was used to wearing a worried expression, so no one could tell that she was afraid. She was silently praying that Tang Guo would fail to condense her golden core. Looking at the vortex, the panic and jealousy in Tang Xiang's heart almost made her body explode. She was already crippled, but she was still able to condense her golden core. With such a huge formation, the golden core she formed would definitely be the best. Tang Xiang, who wanted to boil a frog in warm water, actually regretted not using some methods to kill her back then instead of turning her into a useless person. Xiang it's up to fate to form her golden core. Whether she succeeds or not, it's her fate, Ji Qi comforted her. He was telling the truth. If Tang Guo succeeded, he would not say anything. If she failed, he would not say anything either. Okay. Tang Xiang saw that Ji Qi was not worried at all about Tang Guo forming her golden core, and she became even more panicked. She could already feel that Ji Qi did not dislike Tang Guo as much as before. That would not do. It seemed that she had to give Ji Qi some heavy medicine to make him understand. Tang Guo's existence would threaten her. Just like what Yu Heng thought. If she had not been smart back then, Yu Heng would have given the primordial flame flower to a genius like Tang Guo for the sake of the sect's future no matter how much he disliked her. Tang Xiang clenched her fists. She already had an idea. While everyone was waiting for Tang Guo to form her golden core, the dark clouds in the sky suddenly dispersed, and the frantically spinning spirit power slowly stopped. The spirit power had indeed been absorbed by Tang Guo. However, Tang Guo did not form her golden core, so the tribulation clouds in the sky naturally disappeared. If she did not form her golden core, it would not strike a small cultivator for no reason, right? It had waited for so long, but the other party did not form her golden core. It was still a little unhappy that it had to prepare the lightning tribulation for so long. Even though he was unhappy, if he didn't form his golden core, the lightning tribulation couldn't go down. The absolute beginning sect disciples were also stunned. After all, they were very familiar with the scene of core formation. Tang Guo's appearance clearly indicated that she hadn't reached core formation yet. Golden cores did not form her golden core. But when all the spiritual power disappeared, she opened her eyes and returned to being that unremarkable little cultivator from before. They checked and found that she was still at the peak of the Foundation establishment realm. She hadn't improved at all. Seeing this, Li Yuni was very happy. He hurriedly ran to Tang Guo and shouted, "Junior sister Tang, where's your Jin Dan? Aren't you condensing your golden core? Senior brother Li, keep your voice down." Zhou Ru reminded him. "Don't scare junior sister Tang." He looked at Tang Guo and comforted her. Junior sister Tang's spirit root was destroyed. It is very difficult for her to form her golden core. She probably is not confident this time. Wait for the next time. It's good to prepare more. Li Yuni was a little disappointed. I see. Alright then. Next time you form your golden core, remember to let me know. I can help you guard. You can come to me whenever you need to form your golden core. Tangua's change gave Li Yuni hope to defeat his opponent. Li Yuni's expectant look made Tangua shake her head. Li Yuni might be disappointed. She would never be able to form her golden core in this lifetime. However, with her current strength, she did not fear any golden core cultivators. Chapter 35-45. Perhaps it was because her cultivation method was different from the general cultivation method. She did not form her Jindan and did not have a specific level. However, she could clearly estimate her own strength. Based on her and the original owner's experience, in addition to the spiritual power that she had accumulated when her cultivation was stagnant, under normal circumstances, it was enough for her to break through 1 or 2 levels. Therefore, it was not boasting that she was confident in dealing with any cultivator in the Jindan stage. Junior apprentice Sister Tang, don't be sad. Zhou Ru comforted. Tangua shook her head. I'm not sad. My cultivation has improved a lot. It's good now. Zhou Ru did not know how to comfort people. The only thing he could do was to take out some fruits for her to eat. Li Yuni returned to his position and stared into the distance, waiting for Feng Gulin and Yu Heng to bring the disciples back. Then, he could go in and do a big job. When Tang Xiang knew that Tangua did not form her Jindan, she was relieved. However, Ji Qi did not understand. With her momentum, forming her Jindan would not be a problem. Why did she not form her Jindan? Could it be that she did not have the confidence and gave up at the last moment? Tang Xiang noticed the emotions in Ji Qi's eyes and decided to bring up her plan as soon as possible. Liang Wan laughed. She could not help but whisper, "This is all bark and no bite." I thought she could really form her Jindan. Actually, it's right. Her spiritual root has been destroyed. No matter how strong she is, she cannot be compared to a normal cultivator. How can forming her Jindan be so easy? Wu Mingxin, who was standing beside Liang Wan, quickly lowered his head, afraid that Liang Wan would say such things. They were all low-level cultivators. He understood the feeling of being mocked. Even if he did not take the initiative to help Tangua, it was mainly because he did not have the ability to help. He would not mock the other party. On the path of cultivation, one should cultivate one's own strength. Why should one care about other people's matters? Good or bad, it did not have much to do with him. The sympathy that rose in his heart was also because he understood the feeling of being bullied and mocked. He could empathize. Liang Wan saw that Wu Mingxin lowered his head and did not respond. The others also did not respond. She recalled Li Yuni's attitude just now and her expression became awkward. She glared at Wu Mingxin and cursed him for being a coward in her heart. Then, she sat cross-legged at the side and cultivated. Wu Mingxin felt her gaze move away, but his heart relaxed. Forming a team with a Jindan stage was good, but for someone like Liang Wan, it was better to form a team with a Zhuji stage. System, dear host, that tribulation cloud hasn't left yet. It's still hiding in the sky. Do you feel it? It seems to be observing you. I feel it. It should have sensed that my strength is already comparable to the golden core stage. It is doubtful. It is probably waiting for me to form my gold core. System, then I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint it. According to the host's current cultivation method, I've calculated that it's impossible for you to form your gold core in this lifetime. Furthermore, there's a possibility that you'll always appear as a Foundation Establishment stage cultivator on the surface. At this moment, the system really wanted to tell the Tribulation Cloud to stop waiting. You won't be able to wait until the host forms his core. The Tribulation Cloud had a lot of questions and didn't plan to leave for the time being. It had been hiding in the clouds high up in the sky. It believed that with Tangua's strength, she could form her gold core at any time. At that time, it would take advantage of the fact that the other party wasn't paying attention to strike him with a lightning tribulation. Then, it would be able to complete its mission and leave. A few days later, Yu Heng and Feng Gulin brought back the disciples who were covered in blood. Chapter 35-46. There were 2 strong cultivators and a group of nascent soul disciples watching over them. Apart from some serious injuries, there was no danger to their lives. It was said that life and death were up to fate, but how could the sect allow them to die if they were able to protect them? That would be a loss to the sect. Otherwise, why would they arrange for strong cultivators to watch over them? You guys stay here and recuperate. The second group of disciples will follow me to fend off the demonic beasts. Yu Heng's gaze swept across the faces of the disciples. His gaze was indifferent and finally stopped on Tang Xiang for a moment. Thinking of Tang Xiang's situation, he was a little worried. He had to watch over her later to prevent anything from happening to her. Tang Guo followed the main group and ran out of Long Cave City. She did not know when Feng Gulin had walked to her side and asked, "I heard that you almost condensed your golden core." "Yes, Elder Feng." "Why did you stop at the last moment?" Tang Guo said honestly, "I felt that I couldn't condense my golden core, so I stopped in time." Seeing that she was so honest, Feng Gulin increasingly believed that she was not as arrogant and rude as the rumors said. She was not someone who ignored her family. "Actually, you're already very outstanding. Many people who had their spirit roots destroyed directly gave up. You've already done very well to be able to cultivate to the peak of Foundation Establishment and still try to condense your golden core. There are many uncertainties in the cultivation world. Perhaps one day, you'll encounter your own opportunity. Don't give up until the very end. Elder Feng is right. I've never thought of giving up." "Very good." The more he felt that Tang Guo was good, the more Feng Gulin felt sorry for her. He saw that his disciple had a good temperament. If it wasn't for that incident, she would probably be a role model for the younger generation in the cultivation world. Even Li Yuni paid attention to her and listed her as an opponent. Was she really that bad? Li Yuni was the one who told him about Tang Guo's incident. Later, do what you can. When you're hunting demonic beasts and training your combat skills, you have to do one more thing, and that is to protect yourself. I will. Thank you, Elder Feng. Feng Gulin smiled. It's my duty to protect the sect's disciples. Soon, Tang Guo and Zhou Ru went with the demon beasts. At first, in order to take care of Tang Guo, Zhou Ru chose to deal with those Foundation Establishment stage demonic beasts. Later on, they saw that Tang Guo had easily dealt with the Foundation Establishment stage demonic beasts, and with Tang Guo's suggestion, they rushed towards the Golden Core stage demonic beasts. Seeing this, Yu Heng could not help but frown. As expected, he's too impatient and eager to show off. That may not be the case. Although her cultivation is not at the Golden Core stage, her actual combat ability is not weak at all. Peak Master Yu, you are indeed biased against this disciple. Peak Master Yu, look, the way she hunts the demonic beasts is clean and efficient. Many of them are killed in one strike. Another thing worth praising was that she and Zhou Ru cooperated very well. Both of them trusted each other with their backs. This kind of absolute trust is rare in the sect. Feng Gulin was very satisfied with Tang Guo's performance. He couldn't bear to see Yu Heng belittling his own disciple. He could not help but say something to slap Yu Heng's face. As expected, Yu Heng looked over and saw Tang Guo and Zhou Ru's actual combat situation. He did not say anything and turned to look at Tang Xiang. Tang Xiang's actual combat experience was also very rich. This made Yu Heng very satisfied. Seeing this, Feng Gulin's mouth twitched. He really could not see how Tang Xiang could be compared to Tang Guo. Was Yu Heng's eyes covered with cow dung? Senior brother Zhou, we should be able to go further in. Tang Guo wanted to get more demonic beasts. Anyway, with her current strength, as long as there were no nascent soul stage demonic beasts, there would be no problem. Even if there were nascent soul stage demonic beasts, she would not be afraid. Escaping for her life would not be a problem. Zhou Ru trusted Tang Guo a lot and agreed. Yu Heng could not help but scold. You overestimate yourself. Wealth comes from danger. Since she dares to go, it means that she is confident. From the situation just now, she does have the ability to deal with stronger demonic beasts. Feng Gulin just had to disagree with Yu Heng. Seeing Yu Heng's unhappy face, he felt good. System, dear host, Tang Xiang is moving towards your direction. It seems like she wants to cause trouble. Chapter 35-47. Got it. Help me keep an eye on her. If there are any strange movements, remind me at any time. Liang Waner saw that Tang Guo was so aggressive and was somewhat unconvinced. In addition, her strength was indeed not bad, especially in actual combat, so she slowly moved inside. Liang Waner's strength was not bad. After all, this was a cultivation world. As long as one cultivated to the Aurus core stage, they would not be too bad. Although she was not as relaxed as Tang Guo in dealing with the demonic beasts in the current range, it would not be too strenuous. Wu Mingxin was not the same. He saw Liang Waner keep rushing forward, and he was only in the foundation establishment stage. If he went in again, it would be very risky. Knowing that Liang Waner would not help him, Wu Mingxin instantly decided not to go in. Although the reward was very important, and the teammates were also very important, Liang Waner did not care about him, a foundation establishment stage teammate, and insisted on rushing in. He should obediently stay in the range of demonic beasts that he could deal with. With Liang Waner's temperament, if something happened to him, she would most likely not see him in danger. Liang Waner knew that Wu Mingxin did not keep up. She hoped that Wu Mingxin did not keep up. A mere foundation establishment stage teaming up with her was already a great favor. If he followed her, he would be a hindrance. Now that the other party had this self-awareness, she was eager. Senior apprentice Sister Liang, if I go any further, I might not be able to deal with demonic beasts. So, I should stay in the range of foundation establishment stage demonic beasts. In this range of foundation establishment stage and Aurus core stage, Wu Mingxin was struggling to deal with them. He called out to Liang Waner and hurriedly retreated. The reason why he called out to her was because he did not want to leave any evidence that could be used against him. When the time came, they would say that he did not cooperate with his teammates. If he made it clear, when the time came, if anything happened to Liang Waner, she would not be able to push the blame to him. The main thing was that Liang Waner's behavior made him feel especially uncertain. This Wu Mingxin is quite smart. The reason why she noticed Wu Mingxin was that the matter of him teaming up with Liang Waner left a deep impression on Tang Guo. Host, Tang Xiang is getting closer to you. However, she is maintaining a certain distance and does not seem to have any intention of coming closer. The system reminded her. Tang Guo separated a trace of her divine sense and swept it towards the location indicated by the system. Sure enough, Tang Xiang was separated from her by a certain distance. For the time being, she didn't understand what the other party wanted to do, but it seemed like they wanted to do something. Tang Xiang couldn't sit still anymore because of the things that happened to her. She would definitely do something. However, a day had passed and Tang Xiang didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Instead, under Ji Qi's protection, she fought with demon beasts. Tang Xiang's combat experience was also very rich. Seeing this, Yu Heng nodded repeatedly. As for Tang Guo's side, Feng Gulin would occasionally pay attention to her. He realized that she had no problem dealing with demonic beasts in the late stage of the Golden Core Realm and the perfected Golden Core Realm. He was relieved and paid more attention to the disciples who were having a hard time dealing with the demonic beasts. Yu Heng would occasionally check on Tang Guo's situation. In fact, he had no choice but to do so because Tang Xiang and Tang Guo's positions were connected in a straight line. If he wanted to see Tang Xiang, he would definitely see Tang Guo. What Tang Guo didn't understand was that Tang Xiang went deeper than her. She went deeper into the mountains. Of course, she didn't go beyond the range agreed upon by the elders. Therefore, Yu Heng didn't stop her. She didn't see Li Yuni at all. Tang Guo thought that he was a fighting maniac and most likely went to other places to hunt powerful demon beasts by himself. Chapter 35-48. Just as Tang Guo was still trying to figure out what Tang Xiang wanted to do, she suddenly felt a sense of danger. Her mind instantly became alert and she spread her divine sense all around. Her hands were not moving, but she kept paying attention to the situation around her, especially on Tang Xiang. What made her feel strange was that the danger she felt did not come from Tang Xiang. She even felt that the ground was trembling slightly. It was just that the range of her divine sense was too small and she could not see too far, so she did not know what was happening that caused the ground to tremble. But the unknown danger was coming, and without absolute certainty, it was better to leave. Did you see anything? Not good, host, there is a large group of demonic beasts rushing over here. The system quickly said, the demonic beasts just now were very far away, so I did not check in that direction. The demonic beasts are very fast, like mad bulls. They should be very strong because some of the demonic beasts in their path were trampled to death by them. So, these demonic beasts had lost their minds and were no different from lunatics. They should be very strong. Got it. Tang Guo pulled Zhou Ru's sleeve and whispered, Senior brother Zhou, shout out that there is danger and tell everyone to retreat quickly. Junior sister Tang, what's going on? There is a large group of demonic beasts coming over. They are stronger than the Golden Core stage and might be at the nascent soul stage. I don't know how many there are at the moment. Once they rush over, so many people will not be able to react. Zhou Ru looked at Tang Guo with a slightly complicated gaze. Junior sister Tang, they treated you so badly, why do you still want me to tell them this? That is that. Besides, whether or not they can escape later will depend on their own abilities. Besides, there were people here who had no enmity with her. There was no need to use the others as cannon fodder just to kill a few enemies. She did not like the word cannon fodder at all. Okay, junior sister Tang, you are really a good person. Tang Guo could not help but laugh in her heart. Actually, she was not a good person. It was just that if people did not offend her, she would not offend them. If it was at the beginning, when she was in her darkest state, she would not have made this choice. Instead, she would have watched these people die in the mouths of the demonic beasts. Later on, she pondered deeply. They were all cannon fodder, so why should she make things difficult for them? It was not easy to live in this world. Everyone retreat, there is danger. Zhou Ru shouted at the top of his voice, which indeed made everyone stunned for a moment. Danger is about to arrive. Hurry up and retreat. There is a large group of original infant stage demonic beasts rushing over like madmen. I don't know how many of them there are. Zhou Ru's voice was much louder this time, and he even used his spiritual energy. After he finished shouting, he took advantage of the fact that everyone was still in a daze to call out to Tang Gua. Junior Martial Sister Tang, let's quickly retreat. All right. Tang Gua gently nodded and quickly retreated outside with Zhou Ru without hesitation. Seeing the two's actions, many people followed them and ran outside. There was also a portion of them who were hesitating. However, Zhou Ru was running as he spoke. Many people believed that he was in danger. No matter what, let's run first. If you guys don't believe me, I'll swear an oath to you. If no demonic beast comes out later, I, Zhou Ru, will never be able to improve my cultivation. This was the first thing that Junior Martial Sister Tang had asked him to do, so he had to do it beautifully. Since Zhou Ru had already sworn an oath, everyone did not care about anything else and ran outside. Tang Xiang looked at the scene of everyone from the absolute beginning sect retreating outside and was a little dumbfounded. In particular, Tang Gua and Zhou Ru ran the fastest. Chapter 35-49. Xiang, let's retreat first. I also feel a sense of danger coming from my heart. Ji Qi could already feel the ground trembling slightly. He didn't pay much attention to it before because he thought it was due to the battle with the demon beasts. All disciples of the Alpha Origin sect, retreat. Yueheng and Feng Gulin's voices rang in the ears of the Alpha Origin sect disciples. This time, the disciples of the Alpha Origin sect did not hesitate and quickly ran outside. Tang Xiang was pulled by Ji Qi and the two of them quickly ran outside. All of this was different from what Tang Xiang had imagined. She looked in the direction of Tang Gua. Who was Zhou Ru? He was clearly just a golden core cultivator. How did he know that nascent soul demon beasts would charge over? Could it be that this big idiot had some special talent? Tang Xiang clenched her fists tightly. This time, her plan had failed at the last step. She was very frustrated and could not even maintain her previous calm expression. Xiang, what are you thinking about? Ji Qi had already realized that Tang Xiang had been very strange recently. He had always felt that Tang Xiang seemed to be a little impatient. Previously, he had thought that Tang Xiang was impatient because her cultivation was slow. Now, he felt that it was not the case. However, it seemed that he could not get anything out of Tang Xiang. I'm just worried. Eldest senior brother, will so many nascent soul demon beasts really appear? Boom. 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 Just as Tang Xiang finished speaking, Ji Qi's expression changed slightly. Hurry up and get out. It's true. He had already felt the aura that belonged to a nascent soul cultivator. If Zhou Ru had not warned him in time, who knew how many disciples of the Alpha Origin sect would have died at the demon beast's mouths? Even with Yueheng and Feng Gulin, the disciples of the Alpha Origin sect were scattered. Only the two of them could not take care of all the disciples. Why are there so many demon beasts? Tang Xiang asked again. However, this time, Ji Qi did not answer her. He shouted loudly for everyone to quickly retreat. Seeing this, Tang Xiang did not say anything else. She understood Ji Qi's personality. Right now, his entire heart was focused on the consequences of the demon beasts. How could he answer her small questions? Her original plan today was to catch those demonic beasts off guard and put her and Tang Gua in danger. Yueheng's gaze had always been on her. When he saw that they were in danger, Yueheng would definitely choose to save her first. However, as a sister who cared about Tang Gua, she would definitely choose to save Tang Gua first. At that time, both of them would be injured. However, with Yu Heng's protection, she definitely wouldn't be seriously injured. However, she would act like she was trying her best to protect Tang Guo. When she returned, she would tell Ji Qi some things about her nightmare. Yes, her main goal this time was to let Ji Qi hear some of her inner secrets. In her nightmares, she would mention to Ji Qi that Tang Guo would eventually fall into the Devil Dao, kill her family, and even attack the Absolute Beginning sect. At that time, with Ji Qi's personality, he would definitely find a chance to get rid of Tang Guo. Ji Qi was very different from Yu Heng. Yu Heng was very powerful and believed that Tang Guo's foundation had been destroyed. Even if she fell into the Devil Dao, it would be very difficult for her to achieve great things. He thought that with him watching over her, nothing would happen. However, Ji Qi was a careful person. If there was even the slightest mistake or danger, he would strangle everything in the cradle. She had a good plan, but she did not expect it to be ruined by that big idiot Zhou Ru. She did not know what kind of special talent that big idiot had. Chapter 35-50. The Absolute Beginning sect disciples had just retreated from their original location when countless nascent soul demonic beasts rushed out from the forest. Wherever they passed, no matter if it was grass, trees, or other weaker demonic beasts, none of them were spared. They were all trampled to death by these nascent soul demonic beasts. Those demonic beasts were like lunatics, destroying everything in their sight. Don't think that you're safe just because you've retreated. Those demonic beasts seemed to have smelled the scent of humans and madly rushed in the direction of the Absolute Beginning sect. If it weren't for Feng Gulin and Yu Heng covering the rear, the demonic beasts would have already rushed forward and fought with the Absolute Beginning sect disciples. Most of these disciples were at the Golden Core, Foundation Establishment, and Nascent Soul stage. A single claw from a demonic beast could take their lives. Liang Wan also ran very quickly. Golden Core stage cultivators were faster after all, so she quickly escaped from the most dangerous place. However, in the previous tense situation, she was still scratched on the back by a demonic beast. Now, her entire back was a bloody mess. Wu Mingxin was only at the Foundation Establishment stage. Perhaps he was unlucky. A nascent soul stage demonic beast rushed out from the forest beside him and sent him flying with a single claw. He spat out a mouthful of blood and was half dead. If he hadn't vigilantly used his spirit energy to protect himself, he would have been killed on the spot. Even though these demonic beasts had the strength of a nascent soul stage, their fighting style was different from humans. That was why he didn't die on the spot. However, in this situation, his position was very awkward. Everyone was running for their lives, so they might not even notice him here. Wu Mingxin didn't move at all. That nascent soul stage demonic beast seemed to have sensed that he wasn't dead and madly rushed in his direction. Wu Mingxin closed his eyes in despair. As expected, no matter how careful he was, without absolute strength, he still couldn't save his life when he encountered danger. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame himself for overestimating himself and forcing himself to come over to hunt demonic beasts in order to obtain more resources. Suddenly, he felt a breeze in front of him and his entire body rose into the air. He hurriedly opened his eyes. He felt that his position was moving quickly, as if someone had grabbed him by the collar. "Dear host, you picked him up in passing. That's really cool." The system praised. "I've observed this Wu Mingxin before. If he's nurtured well, he'll be a very useful bull. He's very smart and knows his position very well. Moreover, he won't be fooled by appearances. It was just that his talent was slightly lacking. But that doesn't matter. Just find some treasures for him to eat and he'll be very capable." When they reached a slightly safer place, Tang Guo put down the semi-conscious Wu Mingxin. All the cultivators in Long Cave City knew about the appearance of a large group of nascent soul demonic beasts. They quickly rushed over to stop the demonic beasts from heading towards Long Cave City. However, while someone from the Absolute Beginning sect had warned them, those from the other sects weren't warned in time. As a result, quite a few disciples from the other sects were killed or injured. Many of the elders of the various sects were enraged and started to organize groups to kill these nascent soul stage demonic beasts. Yuheng and Feng Gulin went to control the rampaging nascent soul demonic beasts. The weak disciples weren't there, so they didn't have to be so cautious when they attacked. With the help of the other sects experts, it took them almost an entire day to kill all the nascent soul stage demonic beasts. Among them, the nascent soul stage disciples also went to participate. Tangwa didn't go. With her current strength, she wasn't strong enough to deal with a nascent soul stage demonic beast. Chapter 35-51. Thank you, Senior Sister Tang, for saving my life. After Wu Mingxin recovered a little from his injuries, he hurriedly bowed to Tangwa. If it weren't for Tangwa's casual grab, he might have died under the claws of those monster beasts just like the other sect disciples. In that kind of situation, he really didn't expect that someone would actually help him. Wu Mingxin's eyes reddened. He was touched. That was because ever since he stepped onto this path, other than his parents who would treat him this way, everyone else would choose to protect themselves in this kind of crisis. They would not take the risk of bringing along such a half-dead burden. I, Wu Mingxin, am unable to repay you for saving my life. If Senior Sister Tang needs any help in the future, I will not refuse. Wu Mingxin saw that Tangwa's expression did not change. She was still as cold as before. He said, I, Wu Mingxin, swear on my heart demon. Tangwa glanced at Wu Mingxin. It's just a matter of convenience. Yes, it was convenient for the original owner to save Wu Mingxin. It was also convenient for her to carry Wu Mingxin. What did it mean when it was convenient? It was based on the fact that one was confident that there wouldn't be any danger. If it was convenient, then it was convenient. Wu Mingxin did not say much and only smiled. He knew that Senior Sister Tang was not good at expressing herself, but he would always remember this kindness. Senior Sister Tang was not a bad person, but she was not good at expressing herself. That was why people took advantage of her and could not restore her reputation. It seemed that she was becoming less and less concerned about these things. System, dear host, this Wu Mingxin seems to be your cow. Yuheng and Feng Gulin had returned. Their expressions were not good. The eyes of the cultivators from the other sects were red. Their bodies were covered in demonic beast blood. It was terrifying to look at. The air seemed to be filled with a red mist of blood. The thick smell of blood was nauseating. Tangwa's gaze swept across Tang Xiang. Tang Xiang was standing beside Ji Qi. There was only worry on her face and no other emotions. Tang Xiang must have something to do with this. But she did not know what method Tang Xiang used. Tang Xiang should have grasped something powerful in her hands. Seeing that Tang Xiang was concerned about Yueheng, Tang Guo retracted her gaze. That was close. If it wasn't for a disciple's timely reminder, over half of our Alpha Origin sect's disciples would have died. Feng Gulin's face was filled with joy. Look at the disciples of the other sections. Many of their good seedlings have been lost. Yuheng also sighed, yeah, it's all thanks to that disciple from before. Oh right, what's that disciple's name? His name is Zhou Ru. Feng Gulin had already found Zhou Ru's position and was about to praise Zhou Ru. Zhou Ru said, Elder Feng, it was Junior Sister Tang who warned me that there would be danger and told me to inform everyone. Suddenly, everyone's eyes fell on Tangua. Many people had a look of disbelief on their faces. It's her. How could it be her? You don't believe me. I swear that it was junior apprentice Sister Tang who discovered the danger and let us evacuate in time. Zhou Ru was so honest that he directly swore. It was too late for anyone to stop him. If it wasn't true, who would dare to take such a risk and swear? Hence, everyone believed him with complicated feelings. Ji Qi looked at Tang Guo's position a few times. He felt that this was a dream. Yu Heng was also a little surprised. His first thought was that the mixed yuan flame flower could not be exposed for the time being. Otherwise, with Tang Guo's contribution to the sect this time, the sect's elders would have suggested that this former genius consume it. Chapter 35-52. Tang Xiang clenched her fists. Sister, how did you know there would be nascent-souled demonic beasts? I accidentally awakened a type of talent. Tang Guo's answer was so casual that everyone was skeptical. I can sense it in advance. Others might still have doubts in their hearts, but Tang Xiang firmly believed in this answer. Luck. It must be the other party's luck that was causing trouble. Because of her talent, Tang Guo could sense an unknown danger and reminded the Alpha Origin sect disciples to retreat in time. Although many of the Alpha Origin sect disciples were injured, the death count was 0. Feng Gulin had already reported this matter back to the sect. Regardless of whether Tang Guo's foundation was destroyed or not, she would be given a great merit for making such a contribution. When she returned to the sect, she would be given generous rewards and preferential treatment. If you have any doubts about your cultivation, you can look for me anytime. This was Feng Gulin's attitude. He always felt that this talented disciple was held back by that stubborn Yu Heng. According to his recent observations, Yu Heng probably did not give this disciple any defensive items. Otherwise, how could this disciple's foundation be damaged? Would it be so easy for a disciple who had a master to protect her foundation? The more Feng Gulin thought, the more upset he felt. He did not care whether it would be a slap to Yu Heng's face. He immediately took out a defensive Dharma treasure from his space ring and gave it to Tang Guo. This scene made Yu Heng's expression uneasy. He did not give Tang Guo any Dharma treasure and almost did not fulfill his duty as a master. There is a change in the beast tide. If we do not defeat it, we will not be able to return to the sect for the time being. The sect will send a few thousand disciples as reinforcements. Take this and use it to defend yourself. Thank you, Elder Feng. Feng Gulin nodded with gratification. She was able to deal with golden core demonic beasts when she was only at the perfected foundation establishment stage. It would be the Alpha Origin sect's fault if they did not properly nurture such a disciple. As expected, rumors were too annoying. Go and rest for half a day. Tomorrow, the disciples who are not injured will continue to kill the demonic beasts. Late at night, Tang Xiang had a nightmare. Tang Xiang purposely took the opportunity when Yu Heng and Feng Gulin went to check on the situation. She used the method of a nightmare to tell them that Tang Guo was going to turn into a devil in the future, and that she would cause a bloody storm in the cultivation world. She even added, "Sister, why did you do that? Are those demonic beasts really unrelated to you?" Ji Qi, who was originally observing Tang Guo, heard about her nightmare. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was amiss. He did not stop Tang Xiang's nightmare. Instead, he allowed her to continue. From it, he learned that Tang Guo was about to become a demon. She would kill her parents and many people from the Absolute Beginning sect. And this time, the demonic beast might be related to her. That's right, how could there be such a coincidence? But why did she remind everyone to evacuate? This was something that Ji Qi did not understand. But Tang Xiang quickly explained, "Sister, if you continue, Xiang, can only let you down. Do you want to use this method to obtain the sex resources and training? That's right. Ji Qi seemed to understand something. Tang Guo wanted to perform meritorious deeds. She planned to use this method to obtain the sex resources and training. After all, to become a demon and obtain great strength, she would need a lot of resources. It was clear from Feng Guolin's attitude earlier. In the morning, Tang Guo clearly felt a faint murderous intent. It came from Ji Qi's side. Tang Xiang's condition was not good. Ji Qi suggested that she rest first and deal with the demonic beasts after a few days. Chapter 35-53. This time, it was a team of 3, which was what Ji Qi wanted. He decided to team up with Tang Guo and Zhou Ru. Previously, it was all thanks to junior sister. I don't know if there will be any danger in the future. I plan to team up with junior sister so that we can take care of each other. Feng Gulin and Yu Hing both agreed. The others felt that it was only right and did not think much of it. After all, Tang Guo did save them previously. It was normal for Ji Qi to change his mind. Tang Xiang saw that things were developing as she expected. She was relieved. Now, she just had to wait for Ji Qi to find an opportunity to kill Tang Guo. Junior sister Tang, I feel that something is wrong. Ji Qi led the 2 deeper into the mountain. Along the way, he was cold and did not talk much with Tang Guo. Most of the time, he did take care of Tang Guo. Zhou Ru felt a faint sense of danger, but he did not expect it to come from Ji Qi. Maybe there are strong demonic beasts spying on us. Tang Guo dispelled Zhou Ru's worries. Senior brother Zhou, be serious when dealing with the demonic beasts. Otherwise, it will be dangerous. Ji Qi wanted to kill her. He should be thinking of how to kill her. Of course, she would not sit still. Since things had already happened, she should let Ji Qi know the truth. However, she could not let Ji Qi eat a pipe dream. As a cultivator, he was very sensitive to hallucinogenic pills. If he knew that she was the one who gave it to him, he would not only not believe it, but would also think that he was right. He must get rid of her. This was also the reason why she could not use a pipe dream. Moreover, a cultivator's divine sense was strong. He might not be affected and might even think that it was an illusion. Although he was confused, he would not really believe it. Originally, she wanted to wait until that incident happened. However, she could not wait anymore. She had to solve it quickly. She wanted Ji Qi to live a life worse than death. His cultivation would stagnate and he would live in pain forever. That was close. I don't know where so many strong demonic beasts came from. Luckily, we are close to the sun-traversing snow mountain. Tang Guo and the other 2 were already sitting at the foot of the snow mountain. They looked a little pathetic. As for how they got here, it was Ji Qi's intentional guidance. Together with Tang Guo's intentional cooperation, they were chased by many demonic beasts. This time, it was Ji Qi who had alarmed the powerful demonic beasts. When they walked into the sun-traversing snow mountain, those demonic beasts didn't dare to approach them for some reason. However, they would not doubt this. Since ancient times, the demonic beasts of the outside world seemed to be afraid of the sun-traversing snow mountain. No matter how great the temptation was, they would not approach it. The reason why Ji Qi chose to make his move on the snow mountain was because he believed that the collapse of part of the snow mountain would conceal a lot of the truth. In addition, there were many demonic beasts guarding the area. For the time being, they couldn't leave, and the people outside couldn't enter either. Ji Qi did not make a move because there was still Zhou Ru. His strength was not bad. When the time came, as long as he unleashed his hidden strength, he would definitely be able to kill Tanguo. However, Zhou was a variable. It was said that he was a cultivator who was not afraid of being beaten. This kind of talent was somewhat of a hindrance to him. Since we can't leave for now, let's enter the snow mountain and take a look, Ji Qi suggested. Maybe we can find another way. After entering the snow mountain, he would use some small tricks to separate Zhou and Tanguo so that it would be much easier for him to take action. Tanguo did not object. Zhou, on the other hand, was a little hesitant. In the end, seeing that Tanguo wanted to go, he agreed. Before the three of them entered, Zhou gave Tanguo a bracelet. This is a protective bracelet. Junior sister Tang, wear it. If there is any danger, this bracelet will protect you. Chapter 35-54. Zhou, this big idiot, put the bracelet on Tanguo's wrist without her permission for the first time. What was even more surprising was that even though the bracelet had not been refined, the moment she put it on, she felt that it was already hers. The three of them walked into the snowy mountain. Tanguo felt that Zhou was a little strange. Senior Zhou, what's wrong? Zhou scratched his head and said in a daze, I don't know either, I keep feeling that something is about to happen. Ji Qi narrowed his eyes slightly, still feeling that Zhou was a hindrance. Ji Qi wanted to kill Tanguo, but he did not know that Tanguo also wanted to find a chance to teach him a lesson. Her strength was not as good as Ji Qi's, but she had many tricks up her sleeve and treasures. Taking away half of Ji Qi's life was not a problem. As for killing Ji Qi, she did not even think about it. Death would be the end of all troubles, how could it be so simple? Xiao Mei, did you feel that someone came in? I saw it, it's actually that girl from last time. The person beside her looks very familiar, she was there last time too. Why is there another one? This person is a little strange. Xiao Mei, do you know him? Old man Shui, if you call me Xiao Mei again, I'll destroy your snowy mountain. No matter how big it is, I'll destroy 10 of them every day, you won't be able to rest in peace, do you believe me? I do. Then Brother Mei, that girl came again, I think she's quite pleasing to the eye, I'm going to give her some treasures, do you want to do the same? No way. Humans are all greedy, if you give her something today, she'll ask for more tomorrow, and when that time comes, she'll empty your snowy mountain. What are you talking about? The treasures that grow in snowy mountains, aren't they all obtained by one's own ability? If I like it, I'll give it to her, but if I don't like it one day, then I won't give it to her. Old man Shui hesitated for a moment, then said, to tell you the truth, I feel that fate and her are somewhat tied together. I keep feeling that she can't die. If she dies, it won't be good for me. This feeling is even more obvious this time. I even have a feeling that if she dies, my life will be in great danger, creating a dead end. Her cultivation is still low. I have to give her something good to raise her strength and protect myself. Really? When have I ever lied to you? We've been neighbors for so many years, haven't we? Alright, before your crisis is resolved, I won't do anything to her. Of course, if she's greedy by nature, I'll teach her a lesson and won't let her off easily. Elder Shui sensed that something was wrong with Mei Hanbai's expression and followed his line of sight to where Tanguo was. He saw that the honest-looking man was looking around cautiously, carefully protecting Tanguo. Old man Shui pondered for a moment. Brother Mei, your expression is a little off. I've always felt that you've always been hostile towards that girl. Now that you've seen another man taking care of her, your expression is extremely gloomy. I say, did you take a liking to her and think that she's a human that you hate, so you flew into a rage out of humiliation and wanted to kill her? Now that you see another man appear by her side and treat her well, you can't accept it in your heart. Why are you so awkward? Will there be an avalanche if you don't speak? Whether or not there will be an avalanche is something that I don't want to see. I'm just curious, Brother May, you seem to treat her differently. But to be honest, I think that this human girl isn't bad. If you were to mate with her, then I wouldn't have to worry about her little life if she were to meet with any danger, and I wouldn't be implicated, Chapter 35-55. Elder Shui saw that Mei Hanbai's expression was becoming more and more gloomy, so he shut his mouth. Forget it, this old man was just guessing blindly. Don't take it to heart. How could a great monster like you fall for a little female cultivator, right? Even a strand of your hair could crush her to death. If you were to combine with her, wouldn't that be a disgrace to your status? Mei Hanbai's gaze never left Tang Guo's body, but he still replied, it's good that you know. How could I combine with a human, and a little female cultivator that I could stomp to death with one foot? She's as insignificant as an ant. Even if that's the case, why do you keep staring at her? Mei Hanbai looked like he was about to break down. He gritted his teeth and said, I have a special reason for not being able to leave the snow mountain. I know that. If it weren't for that, we wouldn't have become neighbors. Elder Shui continued, can you get to the point? Every year, I will cultivate an incarnation and release it outside. They have all kinds of identities. When these incarnations meet with danger, that is, when they are killed by others, they will return to my side. At that time, I will merge with my incarnation and be able to know what they have experienced. At the same time, my strength will increase. This can be considered as some of my experiences in the mortal world. These incarnations are originally me. Each one of them has a trace of my soul power. And then, I know all this, but you still haven't gotten to the point. Mei Hanbai stared at Zhou Ru. My incarnation is actually protecting a human female cultivator. This is intolerable. He hated humans the most. Ha 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 ha. Elder Shui couldn't help but laugh when he heard this. He had lost control for a moment and even caused a small collapse of the snow mountain. It's over, it's over. I was too excited and it seems to have collapsed on the little girl. Elder Shui was just about to control the snow mountain when Mei Hanbai stopped him. Good, I'll take this opportunity to withdraw my incarnation. My incarnation is me. How could I protect a female cultivator who is as weak as a little chick? It's too embarrassing. With a single thought from Mei Hanbai, Zhou Ru seemed to have sensed something. At the instant when the snow mountain crumbled, he enveloped Tang Guo with his energy, causing her to disappear from sight. Junior Tang, take care. Don't lose the bracelet. Senior brother Zhou. Tang Guo hurriedly shouted when she was dodging the avalanche. Zhou Ru's words of farewell had caught her off guard. Tang Guo did not have the time to check why Zhou Ru suddenly disappeared. Yes, she clearly saw that Zhou Ru was not covered by the snow at the moment when the snow mountain collapsed. Instead, he disappeared. System, host, you have indeed disappeared into thin air. I can't capture anything else. There doesn't seem to be anything here, but the snow mountain is very mysterious. There should be a barrier. Ji Qi did not expect things to happen so suddenly. But this opportunity came at the right time. Without hesitation, he slapped the back of Tang Guo's head. Tang Guo had always been on guard against Ji Qi, so she quickly dodged. Why? Tang Guo asked as she ran away. Ji Qi's gaze was cold. Because of you, Xiang has developed an inner demon. There are other bad things that may happen, so you must die. That was the reason. Since it was going to be an obstacle sooner or later, why not nip it in the bud earlier? Now, wasn't this the perfect opportunity? Oh no, that brat's heart is vicious. Elder Shui shouted. He looked nervously at the fleeing Tang Guo. This girl's movement skills are not bad. Let's watch, Chapter 3556. After fusing with his incarnation, Meihanbai's cultivation level increased a little. At the same time, he also gained a little more memories. After looking through those memories, his expression twisted and he casually sealed them away. When he came back to his senses, he looked at Tanghua who was being chased. He leaned against a plum tree with an indifferent expression, but his eyes were fixed on the bracelet on Tanghua's wrist. That bracelet was a defensive Dharma treasure he gave his incarnation before he left. After all, the longer his incarnation lived, the stronger his cultivation level would be. When the time came for him to fuse with his incarnation, his strength would increase even more. He didn't expect that the simple-minded incarnation would give his own defensive treasure to that weak female cultivator. How could he do such a stupid thing? What a disgrace. Therefore, when he saw that Tanghua was being chased by Ji Qi to the point that she could only escape, he leaned against the plum tree in a rather good mood. He even took out a wine jug and prepared to have a drink. You're really narrow-minded. Besides, it's not her fault. It's your fault for not being able to keep your heart and wanting to treat her well. Speaking of which, it's your temper that's too strange. She's being wronged. That's not my heart. It's my incarnation's doing. Isn't your incarnation? Meihanbai's expression changed. It's only a trace of a soul. There's something wrong with its brain and its intelligence is lacking. It's pardonable that it was bewitched by the female cultivator. So, it's still your fault. It's your brain that's not good. You're a retard. It's not her fault. Old man Shui repeated, don't blame her. She's quite good. Her movement skills are not bad. Look at what she's doing. Meihanbai then realized that Tanghua was running in a very strange direction. She wasn't running in one direction. Instead, every time she paused, she seemed to throw something in a certain direction. Array discs. Meihanbai's expression turned serious. She's throwing array discs. She's planning to trick that male cultivator. That's right. I knew she was powerful, so I didn't make a move for now. With our identities, it's better for us not to show ourselves. So, humans are all treacherous and cunning. Look. Meihanbai's face was full of disdain. She looks like she's being chased, but in the end, she's full of evil tricks. Brother Mei, you can't say it like that. She can't win against that malicious brat on the surface, so she used this method to escape. That's not called evil, but smart. She knows how to be flexible. That's the darkness in your heart. In any case, humans are full of bad ideas. Otherwise, how would you have ended up in your current state? You're so powerful, yet the destiny bind is on a little girl. I suspect that you've been tricked. That's still not the same. There are good people and bad people. Moreover, these ties are predestined. No one can arrange them. Unfortunately, the people I met were all bad people. None of them were good. Meihanbai's eyes were cold. All of them were greedy. In any case, you can't touch this young lady. As long as she doesn't provoke me, I won't do anything to her. If I really killed everyone I saw, none of the cultivators who came to the snow mountain would be able to leave. But you often used your incarnations to confuse those cultivators with weak minds, often causing them to kill each other. In the end, the two sects became mortal enemies. You've already said that it's because they're not resolute enough. Are you blaming me? I only gave them a treasure. None of them were willing to let it go. They started fighting. Are you blaming me? If they gave up on the treasure, wouldn't everything be fine? Fine. You're right. It's all because they're too greedy. They won't give in at all right. Old Man Shue's gaze was once again attracted to Tanghua. Look, the array is complete. Chapter 3557. Tanghua threw down the last formation plate. The formation activated and the wind and clouds changed. Everything changed. Ji Qi realized that something was wrong, but it was too late. He did not know that this crisis was caused by Tanghua using the formation plate. Thinking that something had happened to the snow mountain, he quickly jumped up and ran towards Tanghua. In the blink of an eye, Tanghua's figure disappeared from his sight. In another blink of an eye, he was surrounded by Tanghua. Yes, they were all Tanghua. Countless Tanghua attacked him. Ji Qi thought that they must have entered some kind of illusion formation or some kind of miraculous treasure that caused him to hallucinate. He tried to wake himself up, but quickly realized that these Tanghua all had the ability to attack. He could not just sit there and wait for death. Then, the two sides began to fight. Tanghua, who had finished using the formation plate, was watching all of this from a corner. Using all the formation plates to escape from Ji Qi's hands had consumed a lot of her energy. She set up a defensive formation for herself and sat down cross-legged to cultivate. Now, she did not need to deliberately condense her golden core. She only needed to absorb spiritual energy to widen her meridians and cultivate all the meridians in her body. It could be said that she would not encounter any bottlenecks for the time being. She could take advantage of this time to improve her strength. She planned to wait for Ji Qi to exhaust all of his spiritual energy and kill herself. Then, she would use the improved powder of a pipe dream to create another illusion. Things were just as Tanghua thought. Ji Qi was desperately killing the countless Tanghua. It was not that he did not think of breaking out of here, but the other party did not give him any time to think. About half a day later, he had no choice but to reveal his true strength. Mid-stage nascent soul. This brat hid his strength well. Seeing this, Old Man Shue clicked his tongue. I don't know what kind of deep hatred this brat has for that girl. Why did he have to kill her? What else could it be? It's most likely because they fought over resources. The hatred between human cultivators is nothing more than a conflict of interest. Mei Hanbai drank a cup of wine. He had a whole new level of respect for the array set up by Tanghua. However, he was referring to the ingenuity of the array discs, not her. I don't think so. Brother Mei, why don't you add something to the other party? Aren't you the best at illusions? Oh, that's right, I have a treasure. Let me see what kind of grudge they have. Elder Snow took out a mirror and pointed it at Ji Qi's position. Instantly, Ji Qi's life began in the mirror. Mei Hanbai said she wasn't interested, but she still stared at it. The images flickered very quickly, and within a quarter of an hour, they had seen Ji Qi's entire life. After reading it, Mei Hanbai felt that the wine in his hand was no longer fragrant. He threw the flask away. Old Man Shue hurriedly caught it. If you don't want to drink anymore, give it to me. Don't waste it. See, I told you it wasn't that simple. This little girl is actually the benefactor of that poisonous brat. In the end, that poisonous brat even planned to kill her. So, humans are all ungrateful. Actually, he doesn't know either. Mei Hanbai laughed coldly. So what if he doesn't know? Just because he doesn't know, does he lose all ability to judge? Because of prejudice, he denies a person's good intentions. This is the self-deception and intoxication of humans. This is the reason why I hate humans. Many times, when they are just one step away from the truth, they just don't want to investigate. They only rely on their own subjective judgment to judge right and wrong. He only thinks that the other female cultivator is his benefactor, so he ignores that this female cultivator isn't so bad. There are some things that he deliberately doesn't ask about and pretends not to know. In the end, he's just being selfish. Chapter 35-58. Are you saying that the little girl is a good person? Old man Shua grasped the crux of the matter. Like I said, she's a good person. What I mean is, she's good to someone like Ji-Chi, but I'm not sure about anything else. What an awkward person. I'm not a person. That little girl didn't actually try to kill you, can't you tell? She's too soft-hearted. It's better to kill someone who tries to kill herself. Mei Hanbai said. Old man Shua couldn't help but laugh. If she doesn't kill you, you'll say she's too soft-hearted. If she kills you, you'll probably say that humans are just like that. I say, Brother Mei, you're a human, no, a demon. You're really hard to please. For the sake of this little girl's life, I'll help her out. Old man Shua tossed the mirror out. Once the illusion passes, the other party will probably see this mirror. When they see the truth, they probably won't bother the little girl anymore. Ji-Chi noticed that the illusions of Tang Guo were decreasing in number. It was as if he had seen hope, and he used all his spiritual energy to kill them. A few days later, he finally killed the Tang Guo that appeared in the illusion, and the surrounding environment also changed. He didn't relax because the real Tang Guo wasn't dead yet. At this point, he had to kill her in one fell swoop to prevent any further complications. Very quickly, he found Tang Guo's position. She was just a mere foundation establishment complete. Even if his spiritual energy was almost depleted, killing her was still a piece of cake. She seemed to have encountered something as well. Her face was extremely pale. It was probably the same as the illusions he had encountered. Ji-Chi didn't hesitate and pierced Tang Guo's heart with his sword. He used all his strength to feel the other party's life force fading away. This time, he finally let out a sigh of relief. It's actually an array within an array. I really don't know where this little girl got so many array discs. Old man Shue muttered. Seeing this, he suddenly felt that there must be another reason why Tang Guo didn't kill her. At this time, Tang Guo followed the plan and released the improved version of a pipe dream. Old man Shue saw this and shut his mouth. That drug is a little strange. It can confuse a person's mind. Although it's much weaker than my ability, it's more than enough to confuse Ji-Chi. Mei Hanbai said, looks like she's not soft-hearted. Instead, she's full of scheming. This is indeed the style of humans. Hee, old Snow. Ji-Chi had not even noticed the mirror that old man Shua had thrown down, and had already fallen into an illusion. In this illusion, he saw his entire life, including everything that he had never seen before. What was most inconceivable to him was that when he was being hunted down, the first person he met while he was unconscious on the road was Tang Guo. He didn't believe that Tang Guo had fed him a pill and then put him on the branch. What was even more inconceivable was that after he left, Tang Xiang appeared and helped him from the branch to a cave to recuperate. What followed was what happened after he woke up. What happened after that was exactly the same. Only, some things didn't seem to be the same as what he had imagined. For example, those disciples in the sect. After he had reprimanded Tang Guo, they had turned around and left. Those disciples had a smug expression on their faces. One look and he knew that there was something fishy going on. Impossible. Ji-Chi woke up from the illusion, his expression twisted. How could it be her? The one who saved me was clearly Xiang. She's cold and heartless. She's not even close to me. How could she save me? Peek. Chapter 35-59. Ji-Chi's body was drenched in cold sweat. Everything he saw in the illusion made him uneasy. He walked over to the corpse of Tanghua and confirmed that she was dead. He panicked and hurriedly struck the snow mountain with his spiritual energy, causing the snow on top to roll down and bury Tanghua's corpse. After doing all this, he still panicked and thought that he had to leave this place immediately. He dragged his heavy footsteps and walked outside. He wanted to leave quickly, but he could not move quickly. Inadvertently, he saw a shiny object and hurriedly ran over. It was a mirror. He instinctively picked it up to examine it. Why was there a mirror here? Could it be that the illusion from before was caused by this mirror? When the mirror shone on Ji-Chi's face, it showed the scene of his birth. Ji-Chi wanted to throw the mirror away, but no matter what, he could not let go. He stared unblinkingly at the mirror. It was as if there was an invisible force that forced him to keep looking. What happened in the mirror was very similar to what he saw in the illusion. In fact, it was much more detailed. In the illusion, he could only see a rough outline. Some things were blurry and incomplete. However, in the mirror, it was extremely clear. Especially this time, he saw it especially clearly. When Ji-Chi finished looking, his lips were pale and his entire body was wet as if he had been scooped out of water. He looked as if he would collapse at any moment. His hands trembled and the mirror in his hands kept shaking. He was stunned for a long time before he asked in an incredulous voice, "What happened here is real? Is this the truth? How can this be the truth? How can the truth be like this?" He did not want to believe it. Although there was nothing wrong with the Tang Xiang in the mirror, it was so coincidental that she appeared right after Tanghua saved someone. No matter how he looked at it, there was something wrong. Ji-Chi's eyes were red and he gripped the mirror tightly. "This is not real." The mirror said, "My name is the mirror of this life. I can see everything that has happened in your life. As long as it is within your range, I can basically see everything that has happened." The mirror of this life. The mirror said, "Yes, my name is the mirror of this life. You can look it up in ancient books. I am a very special treasure. Everything you see is real." Ji-Chi really wanted to lie to himself that this was not real. However, whether it was in the illusion or in the mirror of present life, there were many details that he had experienced. The last time he was locked up in the cliff of reflection, it was also there. Ji-Chi hurriedly put away the mirror and rushed to the place where he had buried Tanghua's body. He did not know how to describe his expression. Pale, helpless, devastated, sad, depressed. These words were not enough to describe it. His mind was buzzing. If everything in the illusion and the mirror of present life were real, then wouldn't he have killed his savior with his own hands? Why would Tang Xiang appear so coincidentally and take him away? In fact, Tang Xiang only dragged him into the cave and did not feed him any pills. Tang Xiang should have medicinal pills. Why did she only move him to another place when she saw that he was injured and did not feed him any medicinal pills? It was as if he was certain that he would wake up. If that was the case, Tang Xiang must have seen Tanghua saving someone. Also, how could Tang Xiang's jade pendant, which represented her identity, have coincidentally fallen into the cave? She was a meticulous person. How could she be so careless? Why had he not thought about all of this before? The peak. Chapter 3560. There were still so many flaws, but he didn't want to think about it at all. If he had thought about it more, would things have turned out this way? He also remembered that when he went to thank the family Tang, Tanghua had said that there was no need to thank her, that it was just a matter of convenience. At that time, this sentence was mocked by many people. The family Tang and he all thought that Tang Guo was trying to steal the credit. It was from then on that he couldn't stand this genius junior sister of his and never looked her in the eye again. Every time he saw her, there was only disgust and impatience in his eyes. No matter what happened, he wouldn't ask for the reason. The first thing he would think was that she must have done something wrong. She must have done something wrong. For a person like her, if something bad happened, it must be her fault. Ji Qi crazily dug through the snow to find Tang Guo's body. The reason why he didn't use his spiritual power and sword was because he was afraid that his spiritual power would be too sharp and destroy her body. When Mei Hanbai saw this scene, he gave a rare smile. Wonderful, old man Shui, well done. Actually, that little girl's medicine is still the best. When used with my this life mirror, the effect is really great. This time, that poisonous brat won't harm her life anymore. Although I lost the this life mirror, it was worth it. You didn't take the this life mirror back. That thing can only be used 3 times. After 3 times, it will become an ordinary mirror. There's still one more time, but I don't have much use for it. I saw that a lot had happened to that little girl, so I might as well leave it for that brat. Who knows, it might be useful. You're always thinking about her. I'm only thinking about my own life. Now, my connection with her is even deeper. Brother Mei, don't you feel it? Perhaps this little girl can be of great help to me. If that's the case, I won't be bound anymore. I'll be free. Like that. Yes, this intuition is very strong. It can't be wrong. So, she can't die. I liked her to begin with, and now that her fate is tied to mine, I have to protect her. Old man Shui said very seriously. Brother Mei, don't you have a lot of incarnations outside? Why don't you send 2 to protect her so that no one can harm her life? Doesn't she have a protective talisman with her? There is no danger for the time being. Magic treasures are dead, but people are alive. Those who want to harm her can be harmed in any way. Think about it, if I can escape, it means that you can also escape. Haven't you noticed that the girl's luck is very strong? It's almost bursting with purple energy, and it even has a faint Buddhist aura. Can ordinary people have it? Mei Hanbai, I'll think about it. What's there to think about? You can send 2 incarnations to protect her. It's not like you're going there yourself. Both of you have different appearances, so she won't know. Brother Mei, I was the one who provided you with the ice spring that you used to brew wine. Alright, I'll make the arrangements. Mei Hanbai compromised. Even Old Man Snow had said so. Most importantly, he didn't want to be trapped here forever. It wasn't that he didn't see the purple aura on the other party's body, but he was a little confused. He was clearly a small grasshopper, but how could he have such great luck? Furthermore, his incarnation had actually done such a shameful thing, causing him to lose face. He looked back at Ji Qi, who was still in the illusion. After a long time, he finally threw away the snow, revealing Tang Guo's corpse. He looked at the corpse, especially the hole in her chest, and instantly collapsed. Chapter 3561. Ji Qi cautiously walked over and checked her breathing. He had already confirmed that she was deader than dead. At this moment, he was actually hoping for a miracle. He hoped that he had been careless and that she was not really dead. She had pretended to be dead in order to escape and confuse his eyes. However, this corpse was cold and did not have any breath. The spiritual power on it had almost dissipated. Ji Qi hugged Tang Guo's corpse and his eyes instantly turned red. Can't you? How could you die so easily? Why didn't you tell me the truth? Why didn't you tell me everything? If you had told me everything, would you have ended up like this today? Ji-Chi shook Tanggua's corpse and hugged her tightly. He sat motionless in the snow. If you had told me everything, how could I have done that to you and taken your life? At this moment, Ji-Chi's heart was filled with guilt and sadness. Suddenly, he laughed again because he remembered something. A few drops of tears fell from his red eyes. I'm sorry. I forgot that you told me before. From the first time we met, you told me that you were the one who helped me. But I didn't believe you. Later on, you said it a few times, but I still didn't believe you. I even mocked you and thought that you were trying to get on my good side. I thought that you wanted to steal your sister's credit just because you were talented. Tanggua watched as Ji-Chi broke down in the snow and recalled the past. Even though he was in a sorry state, sad, broken down, and looked very desperate, she was not moved at all. Didn't he deserve it? I will find out the truth and give you justice. Ji-Chi hugged Tanggua's corpse and prepared to leave the snow mountain. No matter who framed you, I will not let her have it easy. When she heard this, Tanggua knew that she had succeeded this time. Ji-Chi believed everything he saw in the illusion and began to suspect Tang Xiang. Once Ji-Chi became suspicious of someone, his intelligence would increase by 100-fold. He would appear especially calm, and he would recall small details that he did not pay attention to in the past and use them as evidence to expose the other party. As for the mirror that Ji-Chi picked up and seemed to have seen something in it, Tanggua was curious but did not intend to ask. She had achieved her goal. It would take some time for the illusion to disappear. While Ji-Chi was still upset, she planned to find Zhou Ru's whereabouts. See, the little girl is still very loyal. She came to find you after solving her problem. Old man Shui saw that Tanggua was looking for someone in the snowy mountains, so he helped to put in a good word for her. Speaking of which, anyone with a bit of conscience would be very worried about you retracting your avatar. Brother Mei, the little girl is so worried. Why don't you tell her that you're fine and that she doesn't need to worry? Mei Hanbai, is that necessary? I think so. If you don't make it clear, I'm afraid she'll keep looking for you in the snow mountain. He probably just searched for a while before leaving. Then let's take a gamble. Let's see if she'll keep looking. Old man Shui believed that he was a good judge of character. If I win, go and make it clear to her so that she won't worry. Don't forget, she and I are tied together by fate. I still need her to help me break free. Mei Hanbai compromised. Okay. Chapter 3562. Let's set a time. How about a month? I think she won't even be able to last 10 days. Mei Hanbai felt that his idea was correct. 10 days then. If she can search for 10 days in the snow mountain, you win. Ha ha ha, then you've lost for sure. Great host, we haven't found Zhou Ru's whereabouts. When he disappeared into thin air, he even covered your body with a layer of energy. It seems like he knows where he's going. He's not panicking at all. Maybe he's in some mystic realm. Let's continue searching. Anyway, we can cultivate as we search. It won't delay anything. Ji-Chi's illusion will be broken soon. When he finds out that I'm not dead, he'll definitely ask me all sorts of questions. I don't want to talk to him for now. Let him and Tang Xiang torture each other. That's right. Let's look for Zhou Ru. He's not bad. If you really encountered any danger, he can help you. Tanggua cultivated as she searched. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Because she was in the snow mountain, the spiritual energy was rich. Furthermore, she would occasionally find some spiritual treasures for cultivation. As a result, her power increased by a lot. Tang Guo looked at the tribulation cloud above her head without fear. She found a relatively safe place and began to break through. Host, this tribulation cloud has been following you for many days. It's very persistent. It seems like it won't be satisfied until it strikes you. I suspect that this tribulation cloud has a performance. If it doesn't complete its performance, it won't be allowed to return. The system began to chatter. Then it's a little unlucky. Great Host won't be able to condense a golden core. It'll never be able to strike you. It does seem a little pitiful. Tang Guo glanced at the tribulation cloud above her that had expanded a little. It seemed like it was ready to strike lightning at any time. She pursed her lips and smiled. Then, she closed her eyes and began to break through. It was the same scene as when she was condensing her golden core. The wind and clouds changed, and countless spiritual energy surged into her body. It was as if she could condense her golden core at any time. The tribulation cloud in the sky was so excited that it almost fell apart when it saw this. It believed that this cultivator would definitely be able to condense her golden core this time. When the time came, it would not give her a chance to react. Once she condensed her golden core, it would immediately strike her and leave. Brother Mei, you lose. Old man Shui stroked his chin and stroked his long white beard. He smiled so widely that his eyes narrowed into slits. This girl has found another way. She really is a genius. If you take out the treasures of the snow mountain and give them to her, she will become greedy. Mei Hanbai said. That's not a big deal. What's important is that you've lost. Wait for her to break through, then go and explain everything to her. You can't let her keep looking for you here, right? Since I've lost, I don't intend to go back on my word. After Mei Hanbai finished speaking, his devilishly handsome face changed into Zhou Ru's simple and honest appearance. He uncomfortably squeezed out a smile. Looking at the person in the mirror, his expression was somewhat distorted. How could I have such a clumsy avatar? It's not good looking, and when it smiles, it looks like a fool. Brother Mei, why are you scolding yourself when you can't figure it out? Are you bored recently? Tang Guo's breakthrough took half a month. Following her breakthrough in cultivation, the surrounding wild winds and spiritual energy also stopped. Everything fell into silence. The little tribulation cloud, which was ready to strike lightning at any time, was dumbfounded when it saw this. It hurriedly stopped the lightning and went to check if Tang Guo had formed her golden core. Reality proved that she hadn't. Chapter 3563. At this moment, Tang Guo seemed to be at the peak of the foundation establishment stage, but her true strength had already reached the nascent soul stage. When Tang Guo stood up, she felt the gaze from the sky, but she didn't mind. At this moment, the little tribulation cloud was probably doubting its life. Dear host, the little tribulation cloud should be angry. Look, it's about to fall apart from anger. Tang Guo looked up. Indeed, the little tribulation cloud was trembling all over, as if it was really angry. As if sensing Tang Guo's gaze, it hurriedly ran away. Of course, it didn't go far. Instead, it hid in another layer of clouds, secretly watching Tang Guo. It didn't understand. This female cultivator always made such a big scene, but she just didn't form her core. What was she doing? Tang Guo prepared to continue looking for Zhou Ru while cultivating. At this moment, Ji Qi should have left the illusion. She was already very far away, so Ji Qi couldn't find her. If he couldn't find her, he would probably go out to confirm. When he met Tang Xiang, who knew what Ji Qi would do? Just as Tang Guo was about to head in a direction to look for Zhou Ru, a figure suddenly appeared not far away. Looking closely, who else could it be other than Zhou? Tanggua hesitated for a moment, then shouted, "Senior brother Zhou." The reason why she used a doubtful tone was because the other party looked like Zhou, but she didn't feel that it was Zhou. When she ran over and got closer, she instantly felt a sense of familiarity from her soul. She was a little confused. This person did indeed have Zhou's aura. No, it should be said that Zhou and this person had a similar aura. Moreover, this person's aura was very strong. "You can go out." "I'm fine," Mei Hanbai said unwillingly. "You don't have to search blindly in the snow mountain." When Elder Shui, who was hiding in the dark, heard this, he didn't feel good. Her acting was too bad. It would be strange if she didn't notice. "You're not senior brother Zhou. What did you do to him?" Tanggua narrowed her eyes. No matter who the other party was, if they really killed Zhou, she had to take revenge. Mei Hanbai could feel the killing intent coming from Tanggua. She was speechless and had mixed feelings. "I already said that I'm fine. Hurry up and get out." "What's the point of staying here?" "I can go out. Hand over senior martial brother Zhou, and I'll go out." Mei Hanbai gritted her teeth. She had already fused with him. How could she hand it over? "You are no match for me. You are just courting death." At this point, Mei Hanbai suddenly thought of a plan. "How about this? I'll give you appropriate compensation. Hurry up and leave. Don't be an eyesore in front of me." After saying those words, a jade box appeared in Mei Hanbai's hand. Opening the jade box, a plum blossom exuding dense spiritual energy lay within. This is a spirit herb that can only be found by chance. Consuming a single plum blossom is enough to raise your cultivation by 100 years. If you promise to leave immediately, I'll give it to you. A smug smile appeared on Mei Hanbai's face. Humans were all greedy. This was a treasure that could increase one's cultivation by 100 years. He didn't believe that the other party wouldn't be tempted. In the past, no one had been able to escape from this move. Many people had killed each other in order to snatch a single plum blossom from him. In the end, they were buried in the snow mountain forever, unable to leave. "I think it's better for you to hand over senior martial brother Zhou." Tanggua didn't even look at the plum blossom. Was this fellow trying to bribe her with the plum blossom? This is a treasure that can increase one's cultivation by 100 years. You don't want it. Senior martial brother Zhou is more important. When Mei Hanbai heard this reply, he suddenly felt uncomfortable. What was so good about that stupid and dumb clone of his? It wasn't worth 100 years of cultivation at all. Chapter 3564. What's so good about that big idiot? He can't compare to this plum blossom at all. At least, it's more important to me. Mei Hanbai was furious. He crushed the jade box, destroying the plum blossom along with it. Dense spiritual energy floated in the air. "Brother Mei, you're that big idiot. Why are you angry? She values that big idiot, so doesn't that mean she values you? Did you seal the memories of that incarnation? If you release the memories, I guarantee you'll be in a good mood for a long time." Old Man Snow transmitted his voice. Mei Hanbai's emotions stabilized a bit, but when he saw Tanggua's hostile gaze, his mood worsened again. Releasing the memories. That was impossible. He didn't want to become that big idiot incarnation, protecting a weak human female cultivator and acting like an idiot. To tell you the truth, I've already eaten that big idiot. Mei Hanbai revealed a malicious smile. You'll never see him again. You can't beat me, so what can you do to me? System, host, is there something wrong with this person? Tang Guo didn't believe Mei Hanbai's words. Actually, when she sensed that his aura was similar to Zhou Ru's, she had already guessed the truth. Combined with Zhou Ru's sudden disappearance, her guess should be true. I know you didn't eat Senior Marshal Brother Zhou. Mei Hanbai was a bit surprised. He thought she would fly into a rage out of humiliation and fight him to the death. I'm indebted to Senior Marshal Brother Zhou for taking care of me these days. Help me tell him that I thank him. Tang Guo raised her wrist, planning to take off the bracelet. For some reason, she couldn't take it off. Mei Hanbai couldn't help but interrupt when he saw her like that. You'll have to wear that bracelet for your entire life. You can't take it off, so don't waste your energy. How could he be so stupid to do such a shameful thing? Since that's the case, then help me thank Senior Marshal Brother Zhou. If there's a chance to meet him in the future, I'll always welcome him. So, Zhou Ru was an incarnation. Tang Guo sank into deep thought. So, Alchemist Leng Xing was also an incarnation. After all, he also had that kind of aura. The person in front of her, no, maybe he couldn't be considered a person. He cultivated an incarnation and was sent out to the mortal world to temper himself. From the looks of it, he should know who she was. In that case, Zhou Ru must be his incarnation, and the two of them had fused together. Mei Hanbai did not understand why Tang Guo had left just like that. Looking at the other party's back, Zhang Xian recalled the way she treated Zhou Ru and his main body, and he stood on the spot, smashing snow. You brat, you've been bullied elsewhere. Don't destroy my snow mountain, okay? Old man Shui hurriedly stopped him. You really should learn from your incarnation. Look at your incarnations, there are all kinds of them. Their temperaments are good, that's why young ladies like them. You're different. Every time you open your mouth, you talk about eating people. No wonder people don't like you. Don't meddle in other people's business. I'm just angry. As my incarnation, you actually went around disgracing yourself. Old man Shui, what shame. You just can't bear to see a pretty girl value his incarnation and not him. Wasn't it all him? He was even angry. Awkward lad. Madam Host, what's wrong? Aren't we out now? Do you have any questions? When the system saw Tang Guo standing outside the snow mountain, it looked behind her instead. I just feel that it was too easy inside the snow mountain. It's a little unbelievable. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be an easy thing to walk out of the snow mountain. But I only spent a day to walk out. I even collected quite a few spiritual herbs along the way. Don't you think that it was these spiritual herbs that appeared that led the way for me? Chapter 3565. That's true. Host, you've gained a lot this time. The system paused. Could it be that someone did this on purpose? It could be. Tang Guo looked at the snowy mountains behind her. But it shouldn't be that person. It definitely isn't that person. That person has such a bad temper, why would he lead the way for you? Right, host, how do you know he isn't Zhou Ru? His aura is the same as Senior Brother Zhou's. Senior Brother Zhou's expression was off the moment he entered the snowy mountains, as if he knew something was about to happen. When he disappeared, he seemed to have sensed something as well. So, Senior Brother Zhou should be that person's avatar. Tang Guo replied. Some strong people don't like to travel outside, so they'll cultivate avatars. They'll send a sliver of their soul into the avatar to train in their stead. When the time comes, they'll merge with the avatar. This is equivalent to going out to train themselves. So, that person can be considered Zhou Ru. Then Leng Xing, there's a high chance he is. That person is very strong. The system suddenly came to its senses. So, he wasn't forced to split open, he split open of his own accord. But his personality isn't likable and he's very fierce. Let's not do it this time. Tang Guo couldn't help but smile. Let's not care about him. Let's deal with our current situation first. We'll talk when we get out. Old man Shui, I think it's a thankless task to lead the way for her. Look, she's so suspicious. She must think I wouldn't do something like that. Old man Shui sighed. Who told you to give her such a bad impression? But she didn't say much about you. She's just a bit unfamiliar with you and thinks highly of your avatar. After she found out, her attitude towards you improved a bit. Really? Not necessarily. Wait, she knows it's my avatar. Oh, you've realized. If she didn't know, would her attitude be so good? According to her personality, even if she can't kill you, she'll come back for revenge in the future. She actually saw through it. Mei Hanbai couldn't believe it, but he still felt uncomfortable. As for why, he couldn't find the reason. I'm only helping her out of respect for you. After all, she can't die. Old man Shui, for his sake, can you dig up some more treasures for her to pick? This young man who didn't mean what he said, obviously had taken a fancy to her. Brother Mei, remember the matter I discussed with you before. Arrange for 2 incarnations to protect her. I won't forget. Tang Guo successfully returned to Long Cave City. At this time, the problem of the beast tide in Long Cave City was almost solved. However, the cultivators of the various sects did not return. Last time, their sects had suffered heavy losses. They planned to guard this place well and kill those demonic beasts that dared to charge over. Only then could they vent their anger. As soon as Tang Guo returned, she met Wu Mingxin. Chapter 3566. There is such a thing. Then you should rest first. It's almost done here. I should return to the sect in a few days. Tang Guo returned to her room. Not long after, there was a knock on the door. She opened the door and Ji Qi's figure appeared before her. Where did you go? Tang Guo looked up and glanced at him indifferently. Are you surprised that I'm not dead yet? You didn't get your way. I won't kill you again. Oh. I'll investigate the truth and clear your name. Ji Qi hurriedly said. I was wrong in the past. And then, seeing her stubborn look, Ji Qi felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. I owe you. I already know some things. There's something wrong with Tang Xiang. I'll investigate it thoroughly. She was the one who appeared after you saved me. It was really her scheme. I won't let her have it easy. That has nothing to do with me. You're the one who wanted to kill me. What you do is your business. Tang Guo pointed at the door. Any compensation you make is meaningless to me. Some things have already happened. No matter what you do, you can't make up for it. I know. I should have trusted you in the past. No matter what you do, I won't forgive you. If you have any doubts, why don't you carefully recall what you've done all these years? Investigate the truth and clear my name. Can you change what happened in the past? No. In any case, I'll give you an explanation. Investigate this matter as soon as possible. Actually, he had already determined that there was something wrong with Tang Xiang. However, the other party's disguise was too good. Even if he saw the scene in the mirror of present life, it was difficult to find any fault with Tang Xiang. She was almost perfect. The only thing that made him suspicious was that after Tang Guo saved him, Tang Xiang immediately appeared and brought him to the cave. It's too suspicious. I'm very glad that you're still alive. Ji Qi turned around and said to Tang Guo, you can tell me whatever you want at any time. I'll definitely do it. I saw that sword. You didn't hesitate to stab me in the heart. I don't know what you saw, but I saw that sword clearly. Before that, you wanted to kill me. Therefore, you are my enemy. Ji Qi didn't say anything. He didn't know what to say and felt a little flustered. He quickly left the room. He would definitely get to the bottom of this. Not long after Ji Qi returned to his room, Tang Xiang came looking for him. Eldest senior brother, I heard that elder sister has returned. Is that true? Tang Xiang observed Ji Qi's expression. Previously, she was certain that Ji Qi wanted Tang Guo's life. However, when he returned, he said that he had encountered a powerful demonic beast and was lost in the snow mountain. She thought that Ji Qi had succeeded. Unexpectedly, Tang Guo came back. Could it be that Tang Guo's luck had caused him to encounter another fortuitous encounter? Yes, she's back. I went to see her just now. Is elder sister all right? Ji Qi looked at Tang Xiang and said, it seems like she's fine. She won't die so easily. Didn't I tell you not to ask about her anymore? Tang Xiang buried her head and said, no matter what, she's still my sister. Xiang tell me honestly. Do you know something? Senior brother, I don't know. You're thinking too much. Tang Xiang pretended to be flustered. This appearance made people believe that she knew something. Ji Qi looked at Tang Xiang's expression and his heart sank. On the surface, he looked gentle, but the depths of his eyes were incomparably cold. Chapter 3567. With Tang Xiang's performance, why did he believe her without a doubt in the past? Xiang I originally planned to get rid of her because I know everything. I heard you meditating several times in a row. You're now trapped by your inner demon. Only by killing her will you have a chance to improve. However, I don't know what happened. Her cultivation is clearly much weaker than mine, but I can't kill her. Eldest senior brother, how could you? Xiang I heard everything. She'll become a demon in the future, right? She'll kill your parents and even bring danger to the absolute beginning sect. Xiang can you really bear to see these people die in her hands? If you don't want to, tell me everything. Even if you don't kill her, you have to be on guard. You can't let her make a comeback. Tang Xiang was a little smug. It seemed that Ji Qi couldn't wait to get rid of Tang Guo. That was why he said all this. This man had always been like this. He had always gotten rid of potential dangers. Although he said he was on guard, he was still thinking of ways to kill people. She pretended that she didn't know anything and only wanted to share this secret with her eldest senior brother. Ji Qi's heart was in turmoil as he listened to Tang Xiang tell him her secret. Rebirth? Tang Xiang didn't want to expose her rebirth, but Ji Qi wouldn't believe her if she said it was a dream. If he believed that his biological sister was a bad person because of a dream, people would suspect that her feelings for Tang Guo were fake. Especially Ji Qi. This person wasn't easy to fool. If she didn't know him so well, why would Ji Qi say such things? I was able to save eldest senior brother because I heard that he was ambushed and would die that time. That's why I rushed over in advance. I didn't expect it to be the same as what I experienced. Tang Xiang didn't know that Ji Qi already knew the truth. She thought that saying this would make Ji Qi more convinced. There was also that time when Master was in danger. I was prepared. Otherwise, Master would have disappeared forever. This is what I heard later. It said that my sister escaped that time. She only said that Master's spiritual power was exhausted and unfortunately died. Also, even though Tang Xiang's words were very realistic, Ji Qi didn't believe her at all. Since Tang Xiang was a reincarnated person, many things could be connected. She knew some of the things that had happened and planned to snatch the opportunity in advance. That was why he had coincidentally appeared at that time. He shouldn't have died so easily. Tang Xiang was just lying to him. As for his master, he had countless trump cards. Even if he encountered danger, he would not die so easily. At that time, Tang Guo should still be the genius girl who was almost at the nascent soul stage. Even if Tang Xiang was prepared, what could she do with her strength? Resisting the power of the spatial tear would be a problem. So, a lot of things might have happened, but the specific things that Tang Xiang was talking about were all lies. Connecting all these things together, they all seemed to be criticizing Tang Guo. Eldest senior brother, I originally wanted to bury this secret in my heart, but recently, big sister has made me very worried that I will repeat the same mistake. A smile appeared on Ji Qi's face. He stroked Tang Xiang's head and comforted her in a low voice, Xiang, don't worry. Eldest senior brother will help you solve these worries. Eldest senior brother, I have a request. Can you spare elder sister's life? It's fine as long as she doesn't turn into a demon. Chapter 3568. I promise you that I won't let her turn into a demon. How could she turn into a demon? In his opinion, this person who was not a demon was more like a demon. Tang Xiang was certain that with Ji Qi's help, Tang Guo would not be able to get away with it this time. On the surface, Tang Guo realized that Ji Qi was still indifferent to her. However, when no one was paying attention, Ji Qi explained to her, for now, I will maintain the status quo with you. Otherwise, that weasel will not show her true colors. I will find a chance to expose her. She is very good at disguising herself. Master trusts her a lot. We have to find a reason. A few days later, Yu Heng and Feng Gulin brought their disciples back to the sect. Tang Guo did not plan to go back for the time being. She wanted to train outside. Yu Heng ignored her. He rarely asked about Tang Guo's matters and did not want to. However, Feng Gulin reminded her to be careful. At the same time, he gave her the sect's reward. Tang Xiang went back with Yu Heng. However, she did not see Ji Qi in Tuzhong. Master, is eldest senior brother not going back with us? She said that he wants to go out to train and find an opportunity to break through. Yu Heng was never worried about his eldest disciple. Recently, you have been cultivating wholeheartedly. Your cultivation progress is getting slower and slower. Thinking about this, Yu Heng sighed. Xiang, there are some things that I know. If you don't let it go, it will be very difficult for you to cultivate in the future. Master, I know that you are a kind girl. However, being too kind is not a good thing. Some things should be left to nature. Master, Xiang has disappointed you. You don't have to ask about her in the future. Find a chance. I also plan to dissolve the master-disciple relationship with her. Since she has been stuck at the peak of the foundation establishment stage for many years, let her move to the outer sect. No matter what, with the title of Yu Heng's disciple, she would receive more resources. The spiritual energy in the inner peak was more abundant than that in the outer sect. As long as these were cut off, even if she turned into a demon, she would not be able to achieve anything without resources. The main thing was to let the two of them meet less and chase her to the outer sect. This way, Xiang would not be trapped by her inner demon. Although it was somewhat unkind, in this matter, he chose to side with the kind-hearted Xiang. He was not a person who could go berserk at any moment and endanger the world of cultivation. As for why Yu Hing trusted Tang Xiang, it was because he had watched Tang Xiang grow up. When she was in danger, she did not choose to run away. Instead, she gave up the chance to live and insisted on following him, her master. How could he not be biased toward such a disciple? What about Tang Guo? She was not very close to him, her master. During that crisis, he saw Xiang busying herself. With her little strength, she still had to take care of him, her master. She did not think about her own safety at all. What about Tang Guo? He only sat cross-legged at the side and meditated. Perhaps he was recovering his strength, but he did not care about his master at all. He did not even say a word of concern, which made him bitterly disappointed. Xiang Er's talent is poor, but her temperament is good. In the future, if he had the chance, he would give the primordial flame flower to Xiang to make up for this flaw. Tang Guo first went to the market to deal with the demonic beasts she had obtained these days. After dealing with it, he planned to go to the medicine market to find Ling Xing to refine pills. He had promised to look for her at any time, so she did not plan to be polite. However, before she reached the medicine market, she was stopped by someone. The person who stopped her was Tang Sun. Father and mother want you to go back. They have something to discuss with you. If it was not an urgent matter, Tang Sun would not be willing to come. Chapter 3569. Tang Guo wanted to refuse. She didn't want to go back to family Tang. The only thing he needed to do now was to increase his strength as soon as possible. Even though her strength should be at the original infant stage, there were far too many powerhouses in this world. Only by increasing his strength would he have more authority to speak. However, Tang Sun had revealed to her that someone from the Li family had come. Is the Li family here to break off the engagement? Tang Guo asked. According to the plot, the Li family saw that she didn't have a chance to recover. In addition, Tang Xiang had taken the mixed yuan flame flower. Li Sui was also concerned about Tang Xiang, so he persuaded the family to cancel the engagement. At that time, the original owner was in an extremely sorry state. Even if she didn't like Li Sui, the words of her parents and the Li family that day would have made anyone else faint. We'll know when we get back. Tang Sun didn't want to say anything more to Tang Guo. In his eyes, this sister didn't seem like his biological sister at all. This sister of his was jealous and unreasonable. She was probably here to collect a debt in her previous life. Tang Guo didn't care about Tang Sun's disgusted gaze. Since someone from the Li family had come, it was fine. He would settle this matter as soon as possible. She didn't care for a fiancé who only existed in name. After returning to family Tang, Tang Guo first went to see her parents. The way the two of them looked at her was rather unfamiliar, and there was not even the slightest bit of fondness. Someone from the Li family is here. Father Tang said, it's about your engagement with young Master Li. You're already 19 years old. Ever since that incident, my cultivation hasn't improved for 5 or 6 years, and I've been stuck at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. Actually, the Li family is not bad. It's a good place to settle down. Our family and the Li family have been friends for generations. If you go over, you won't suffer. Mrs. Tang said. The conversation between the two made Tang Guo understand. The Li family was not here to cancel the engagement, but to propose marriage. However, Li Sui already had feelings for Tang Xiang. It was just that he did not show it so obviously. How could he agree to become Dao companions with a piece of trash like her? Although Li Sui's talent wasn't top grade, it was still top grade, better than most people's talent. She wouldn't become Dao companions with someone who had no future just because their families were old friends, right? He was the most important member of the younger generation of the Li family. It was impossible for him to be sacrificed. Rather than that, he might as well form an alliance with the geniuses of a large sect or clan. So, the Li family is here to propose marriage? Tang Gui asked. Mrs. Tang's expression softened. They're here to propose marriage. Tang Gui's gaze swept across the three of them. She was silent for a moment. She couldn't see anything from their faces. However, she felt that things were not that simple and asked, young Master Li Sui also came? Tang Gui deliberately said Li Sui's full name because she didn't think that Li Sui would force himself to marry a good-for-nothing like her. Sure enough, after she asked this question, the three of them looked at each other. Father Tang and Mother Tang looked a little embarrassed, but Tang Sun's expression was natural, and he didn't feel embarrassed at all. The person who came wasn't Li Sui. Tang Sun's eyes were filled with disdain when he said this. He didn't know why his biological sister would think that Li Sui would like her. I remember that Li Sui is the one who has an engagement with me. The person who answered was still Tang Sun. Although you do have an engagement with Li Sui, the two families have a good relationship. Originally, Li Sui promised to give you some time. Perhaps you could cultivate back to your original state, but so many years have passed. Chapter 3570. Your cultivation has been stagnant for 5 or 6 years, right? You've always been at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. It seems that you can't go any further. Tang Sun said, I heard that your combat ability is very strong, but no matter how strong your combat ability is, it can only be used against people who are at the same level as you. In the face of absolute strength, the other party can kill you with one finger. Also, if you stay at the foundation establishment stage and can't condense a golden core, your lifespan will be limited. And you should know Li Sui's talent. He has a promising future. The two of you are actually no longer suitable for each other. Father, mother, the clan leader, and the elders have all discussed it. This time, the Li family has also shown enough sincerity. They will definitely not treat you badly. Father Tang spoke again. Your mother and I have also thought about it. The Li family is a good home for you. It's also close to our family Tang. You won't suffer any grievances there. In your current situation, it's actually not suitable for you to continue staying in the sect. I heard that your sect has some kind of system. If you haven't cultivated to the golden core stage, you will be driven to the outer sect after a few years. At that time, I'm afraid your face will not look good. Mother Tang said, in your current situation, I'm afraid you won't be able to obtain any resources. It's better to come back. Then who is the person who came this time? Tang Guo was so angry that she laughed in her heart. This family Tang had a good idea. What was selling a daughter? This was the real deal. They didn't even discuss it with her before changing the person. This series of words sounded like they were still thinking about her. If the Li family hadn't given enough benefits, the family Tang would probably have a different attitude and think that the Li family had gone too far. The Li family didn't want to lose an ally like the family Tang and didn't want to offend them. In fact, the family Tang didn't want to fall out with the other party. Now that they understood and gave a certain amount of compensation, the family Tang probably thought that they could get a lot of benefits by maintaining the relationship. It was really a good plan. What a good plan. It's Li Hai. You met him when you were young. When she heard this name, Tang Guo almost laughed out loud. Fortunately, she suddenly remembered that she had to maintain her cold persona. It wasn't good to collapse too quickly. It was easy to scare people. Lehigh. Tang Guo looked up and stared at the three people in front of her with a pair of cold eyes. Lehigh, right? What's wrong with Lehigh? Even if his talent was lacking, he was still the legitimate second young master of the Li family. His status was not lower than Li Sui's, and he was also doted on in the Li family. It's said that the Li family will be handed in the future. Tang Guo smiled again. Who doesn't know that the one who manages a big family is the one with the worst talent? It was one thing for his talent to be bad, but his character was also bad. Is Li, I remember that Lehigh had many concubines by his side. It should be said that he had countless concubines. Lehigh wasn't talented, but he wasn't a good-for-nothing. He was good at management. However, this was wrong in the first place. To her, it was a humiliation. She was not a commodity. How could she be traded away just like that? She also said that other than raising her, the Tang family really didn't do her any favors. As for the favor of nurturing her, the original owner had almost repaid it. In the years when the original owner was still a genius, most of the resources that she worked hard for were given to the family. Therefore, she really didn't owe this family anything. Now, they didn't care about her feelings and wanted to squeeze every last drop of her value. Chapter 3571. The more Tang Guo experienced the things that the original owner had experienced, the more she could understand how desperate it was to be in this situation. The clear sky was shrouded in dark clouds. Not only could she not see clearly, but there was also no way to get rid of it. She had some self-esteem and was not a kind person. All the grievances could only be swallowed into her stomach. With Tang Xiang's personality and situation, how could she deal with someone like her? Even if she knew Tang Xiang's true colors, she could not win against her. Thus, she thought of the only way to improve her cultivation. Perhaps it was because she had been at the bottom for many years that she understood that strength was the supreme. As long as one was strong enough, no one would care about how bad a person used to be. They would only see her dazzling brilliance. You will be Lehigh's official cultivation partner and the matriarch of the entire Li family in the future, Mother Tang said. There were 3 reasons why she agreed to this proposal. First, the family Tang did not want to lose this ally. Second, the Li family offered very generous conditions. Third, the Li family had clearly stated that Lehigh would be the next patriarch of the Li family. As for the third point, they had also investigated. Lehigh's cultivation was not bad, but his ability was really good. It was not shameful to let Tang Guo be Lehigh's wife. With her current situation, many people would think that Tang Guo was lucky and would not gossip about the family Tang. However, the Li family was not to be trifled with. They had their own reasons for letting Lehigh, the future patriarch, and Tang Guo become cultivation partners. First, they did not want to lose this relationship. Second, Tang Guo's cultivation had not improved. She was also a good-for-nothing. She might be like this for the rest of her life. However, she was originally a genius. She had a top-grade ice spiritual root, which was a 1 in a million physique. If she and Lehigh became cultivation partners, the offspring they gave birth to in the future might be able to neutralize it and become more talented. If one was not enough, they could give birth to a few more. They did not believe that a mother who used to be a genius could not give birth to a child with slightly better talent. This abacus was louder than anyone else's. Considering Lehigh's identity, Tang Guo also understood this point. She had no choice but to understand. She had experienced too many things. The Li family were not fools for letting Li Hai and her become Dao companions. They definitely had their main goal. Allies were good, but having a talented descendant was better. I don't agree. Tang Guo refused without even thinking about it. She didn't need to think about it at all. Since Li Sui is unwilling, why don't we just cancel the engagement? Tang Guo's objection caused the couple's expressions to change slightly. This is a good marriage. You have to think it through. Besides, the clan leader and the elders have all agreed to this matter. We've almost reached an agreement with the Li family. Since the Li family can exchange people, you can also choose someone else from the family to hand over. It doesn't have to be me. You said that Li Hai is not bad. There must be many sisters in the family who are willing to go to the Li family to be the future matriarch. Tang Guo's unhesitant refusal left the couple at a loss for words. They could not directly force Tang Guo. If word got out, it would be bad for their reputation. People would say that they forced their daughter. Their family was not like that. Sister, why don't you go and meet the second young master first? Maybe you'll like him. This is indeed a good choice, at least for you. Tang Sun saw the couple's dilemma. Seeing their expressions, Tang Guo suddenly changed her mind. Okay, I'll go and meet him. This matter is not impossible to discuss. System, that's strange. He must have thought of some way to torture her. Peak. Chapter 3572. When the three of them heard this, they all looked at her in surprise. Li Hai was quite handsome. When he saw Tang Guo appear, his eyes lit up. Except for her hands that held the sword, every part of her was very beautiful, especially her unique temperament. Li Hai had no other hobbies except for beauties. There were countless beauties in his family, all kinds of beauties. Second young Master Li, I heard that you want to marry me. Actually, it's not impossible, but I can't tolerate a grain of sand in my eyes. I heard that you have many concubines. I can't tolerate them. Tang Guo said directly. Everyone in the hall stared at her, thinking that she was very naive. Li Hai smiled. Miss Tang, you mean that I have to dismiss all my concubines? This is actually not a problem. I can agree. Dismissing his concubines didn't mean that he couldn't have other beauties. Li Hai was naive. How could Tang Guo do as he wished? She shook her head. No, I mean, I can't tolerate a grain of sand. Even if you dismiss those concubines, you can't erase their existence. What do you mean? Li Hai was a little confused. Tang Guo said directly, if you kill them personally, I can pretend that they don't exist. She didn't believe that Li Hai would kill all the beauties he raised just to become her Dao companion. Even if he wanted to, he wouldn't dare. Then the Li family's reputation would be ruined. When she said this, everyone's expression changed. The family Tang members were in disbelief. Their eyes seemed to be saying, how can you be such a vicious person? Tang Guo didn't care about this. Even if she didn't say these words, they would probably think that she was a vicious person. Anyway, in their eyes, she was a vicious person. Then why not show her viciousness? Otherwise, she would really be sorry for the rumors. Sister, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Tang Sun couldn't believe that Tang Guo would say such vicious words. She actually wanted Li Hai to kill all those concubines personally. Who did she think she was? Actually, with her current situation, she was utterly unworthy of Li Hai. Xiaoguo, you've really gone overboard this time. Li Sui has already agreed to dismiss your concubines. It can be seen that he's sincere towards you. Can't you see my sincerity? From Mrs. Tang's point of view, a marriage between Tang Guo and Li Hai was a good ending. Who asked her daughter to be so arrogant and unwilling to admit defeat? Now that he had become a cripple on Li Hai, there was really no other choice. Even if there were other candidates, she probably wouldn't be interested in them. Li Hai's status was beyond her reach. If it weren't for the fact that the other party was her daughter and that she hoped that the other party could have a good home, she wouldn't have bothered to ask about these things if it were someone else. The entire family Tang clan thought the same. Everyone thought that Tang Guo was trying to climb up Li Hai's social ladder. Li Hai was so sincere, but she didn't know what was good for her. Given her situation, how many male cultivators would be willing to personally agree to dismiss their concubines? I'm not crazy. I'm serious. If you don't think this is appropriate, then cancel this engagement. Tang Guo stood up straight and seriously swept her gaze over everyone's face in the hall. If you can't bear to part with this engagement, it's also good to change the candidate. In any case, I can't tolerate a single grain of sand in my eyes. If you want to become Dao companions with me, then you'll have to personally kill your concubines one by one in front of me. When Tang Guo said this, her body seemed to be covered in a layer of demonic qi, making her look incomparably evil. Peak. Chapter 3573. Tang Sun and the family Tang couple's expressions changed slightly. Like Yuheng and Ji Qi, they all knew that Tang Xiang had once cried when she woke up from her meditation. They heard many words in bits and pieces. When they connected them together, they could guess what Tang Xiang was talking about. However, when Tang Xiang woke up, she was unwilling to say anything to them. When Tang Xiang was at home, such things often happened. It was just that at a young age, she seemed to value Tang Guo, her biological sister, and even tried to change Tang Guo and reverse her fate. Unfortunately, a devil was a devil. No matter what you did, the other party was still a devil. There was no way to change the evil in her bones. Tang Guo read the meaning in the eyes of the three people and felt that it was funny. When a person was biased to a certain extent, they would become extremely foolish. Some things clearly could not be like this if they thought about it a little more. However, under their subjective judgment, they would not overturn it or reflect on it. Miss Tang, you're going too far. There's nothing wrong with my concubines following me. You can't take their lives just because they're an eyesore to you. It was impossible for Li Hai to do such a thing. Even if he cared, Tang Guo, a former genius, might give birth to a talented descendant. However, he was unwilling to lose the big picture for the small. My attitude is very clear. If you're not willing, we'll change to another person. Tang Guo's eyes flashed with ridicule. Doesn't the family Tang have many daughters? You can choose any one of them. I'm sure with the Li family's conditions, they'll be very willing. Tang Guo, do you know what you're saying? The clan leader scolded. How long are you going to be unreasonable and unreasonable? I'm sorry, clan leader. It's all our fault for not teaching our daughter well. Father and Mother Tang quickly apologized. I don't know how she developed such a personality. Clan leader Tang, if Miss Tang has such conditions, I don't think we're suitable for each other, Li Hai said. Li Hai said, I've already compromised, but Miss Tang wants a yard after taking an inch. She even wants to kill innocent people. I don't dare to have such a wife. Originally, I came here because I heard that Miss Tang is a very tenacious person. Even if her foundation is destroyed, she will not give up. After I heard her like this, I really appreciated her. Now that I see it, I'm filled with disappointment. After Li Hai finished speaking, he felt Tang Guo's cold gaze. He quickly looked over and saw Tang Guo smiling faintly at him. That smile was full of mockery. Don't make yourself sound so noble. Don't you have your own motives for the marriage between your two families? Take your Li family for example. It was clearly my engagement with Li Sui, but in the end, it was changed to you. Wasn't it because you weren't willing to give up your family Tang as an ally? What's better than being even closer to each other? You all think that you're doing me a favor by making me your Dao partner. But I don't care at all. Second young master, I know exactly what your Li family is thinking. Since you insist on saying this today, I won't be polite anymore. On the surface, you're at a disadvantage, but don't you want me to give birth to a talented descendant for your Li family? You misunderstood. Li Hai wanted to explain but was interrupted by Tang Guo. If you think I've misunderstood, then swear and see. Swear on your inner demons that you came here today to become Dao partners with me, not because you fancy that I can give birth to a talented descendant for your Li family. If that's not the case, then your Li family will definitely fall within a year and never be able to make a comeback. As soon as she said this, there was only one sentence in everyone's hearts. What a vicious oath. Peak. Chapter 35-74. Li Hai shut his mouth. He looked at Tang Guo as if she were a monster. His heart was burning with anger. That was indeed their idea. She had blocked his way out by swearing an oath. It seems that Miss Tang and I are indeed not suitable for each other. Tang Guo's sarcastic look made Li Hai's face turn black. Second young master Li, this. The head of the family Tang family sighed. We might as well discuss this matter later. Today, Tang Guo was insensible. I apologize to you. As soon as he finished speaking, he felt Tang Guo's eyes move to his face. He suddenly had a bad feeling. Don't pretend to be so sanctimonious. You are anxious about this matter. Haven't you already reached an agreement with the Li family? The Li family has offered you very generous conditions, haven't they? For example, about the spirit vein mine. Tang Guo was in a good mood when she saw that the head of the family had controlled his anger. Don't say it's for my own good. If you really want my good and have no selfish motives, you should also swear an oath. If you lie and have your own selfish motives, then the family Tang family will be defeated within a year and will never be able to rise again. What do you think? The hall fell into silence. No one spoke. After a long time, Mrs. Tang said, Xiao Guo, we are all doing this for your own good, then do you want to swear an oath? Swear that you are doing this for my own good and have no selfish motives. Otherwise, your family will be ruined and you will never get what you want. You will lose everything that is most important to you. Tang Guo's words were so vicious that no one could refute them. Since you have invited me back, I also need to make my attitude clear. Regarding my engagement with the Li family, it's best to cancel it. I have been very depressed these years and my heart has become twisted. Maybe one day, if someone makes me unhappy, I don't know what I will do. After all these years, I don't trust anyone. If you want to say that you are doing this for my own good and want to gain my trust, why don't you swear an oath? Swear with the most important thing to you. If you break the oath, you will lose the most important thing to you and fall into eternal damnation. If you can't, then don't mention this to me. You rebelled. The clan leader and several elders really couldn't stand Tang Guo's arrogant look. Have you forgotten how the family Tang has trained you? How could you say such disgraceful words? She had thought that if she used this kind of morality to suppress Tang Guo, she would not be able to do anything. However, Tang Guo took out a list of all the treatment she had received in the family Tang, both good and bad. It also recorded the benefits she brought back to the family after she left. I left the Family Tang group when I was 8 years old. Before that, my talent was pretty good. At that time, the Family Tang had indeed spent some resources to nurture me. But I did a calculation and found that I only had a little more than others. After all, from the age of 5, I didn't seem to be liked by anyone in the Family Tang group. Tanghua held the list and stood at a distance from the door like a bamboo. The corners of her eyes were raised, and the look in her eyes made people tremble. Maybe this is what it means to be a genius. Since ancient times, geniuses have been hated and lonely. It's normal not to be liked. That's not the point. The point is, did you hear clearly the resources I just listed out that you have enjoyed in the Family Tang group? Now, I will list the resources that I have brought back for the Family Tang group after the age of 8. The peak that you're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.